Hey, welcome everybody to Talking Shit Tuesday, the late edition, because JD Kane didn't want to have one today for whatever reason. No, I think he was busy, and obviously with the Potholer and Steven Crowder debate that didn't happen, which we'll discuss here, he didn't want to overlap with them. So he wanted me to have a Talking Shit Tuesday, and of course, I wanted to talk about what we just witnessed for the last couple hours. So I kind of just combined them together. So this is going to be the Talking Shit Tuesday 8/22 edition. If JD wants to have another one tomorrow, that's fine. I don't really care. But I want to get your guys' opinion on what actually transpired with Steven Crowder, because from what I understand, he was actually running a hangout, or what was it, Jade? He was broadcasting during this time.
Well, he had his own, like, I think he was making a video. He was recording his own. He did something with John Oliver. I think he was talking about John Oliver had some commentary on nuclear power.
Oh, like, is that why somebody asked me in the live chat if we supported nuclear power?
Maybe, but Steven Crowder did a response video to that, and I don't know if he was recording that during the time. If he recorded and created that video during the time that the debate was happening, or whether it happened earlier, but I think he was doing something else.
Hang on one second. Let me make sure that can the outside chat, outside feed see all this and hear everybody? I usually do a mic check first. I was lazy tonight, so let me just refresh, because it could be on my end. It looks okay. Everything looks okay on my end, but as the outside,
I'm able to hear myself on YouTube.
But again, they see the video from the outside.
So what he was doing was a rebuttal video to John Oliver's claims about nuclear power.
Yeah.
What's the claims on nuclear power? Because that's obviously something that I know a little about. So, just curious.
Well, I think I skimmed through the video really quickly. I think he was John Oliver, I think, was dissing nuclear power, just as a very brief overview. I think he was talking about the amount of waste that it created and some problems in a few communities, and Steven Crowder was responding with that even if there are problems with nuclear power, they pale in comparison to the other energy resources, including, people might be surprised to learn that solar and wind power create quite a bit of waste, and there end up also being a lot of deaths manufacturing those
that's actually
types
very
of
true.
Renewable energy resources.
And the main thing is that people don't.
It was fair.
Go ahead, finish by all means. What was that?
Oh well, yeah. I thought Steven Crowder's video was fair. I don't think any criticism for it. Although one thing that was very funny was perhaps in response to what's been happening with Peter Hadfield. He very much stressed in the video that check my sources, right? Read it for yourself. Yeah, he was just stressing that. It wasn't like his previous videos where it's sort of tucked away in the description. He was really stressing everybody.
I don't really watch his stuff, to be honest with you. I know who he is, but let me say when it comes to nuclear power real quick, because I obviously I qualified a reactor supervisor for 2 different reactor cores, so I have a little bit of experience with nuclear reactors. But I can tell you right now, the vast majority of waste from a nuclear reactor is in the form of low-grade radiation, and even that, most of the time, it's not even radioactive. What happens is, anytime you take something into the primary system, when you break containment, that is potentially contaminated. There are ways to survey them out, but for the most part, they are very, very low-grade radiation. Now, there are bigger types of radiation. Obviously, the core vessel itself, what's called the control rod drive mechanisms, these control rods, those things are a massive amount of radiation. However, there are ways of trying to protect people from that. It's called vitrification, where they encapsulate it in glass or other means. But as you said, comparison to the waste that's produced from the product, especially petroleum-based products for solar and other things, it's actually pretty efficient. Plus, the energy density for uranium is far more efficient than any other source we have next to fusion, which we've established, but we have not perfected yet, obviously. So let me throw that out there. Go ahead, Jade.
What's the waste in solar power?
Well, there are a lot of precious metals involved in the manufacturing of it, and I imagine in the manufacturing process.
It's in the manufacturing process, yeah.
It's not during the operation. Same with wind power, for example. It'd be, yeah, because so many rare metals are used in solar panels, and I'm sure the manufacturing process is quite complicated, and I think that generates quite a bit of waste.
I'm familiar with wind and solar power. You can build your own wind power generator, and I'm trying to figure out there's no precious metals in that, to my knowledge, unless you're talking about batteries.
No,
I don't
he's
know.
talking about like down here, like where I live. They have the big type turbine windmills. Yeah, that's kind of the production cost for those, because there's a lot of plastics involved and things of that nature. Not the small scale stuff, obviously, right?
Yeah.
But I mean, as far as the topic
also
tonight,
including things like deaths from falling off these things when constructing them,
or
like,
coal mine
sometimes
accidents.
Roofers, yeah, or coal mine, but roofers will fall off of roofs installing solar panels, or when they're putting up windmills.
Yeah, statistically speaking, nuclear power is still one of the most efficient and safest form of power by a long shot. Now, granted, if they can develop better ways to control the magnetic fields from fusion, that's great. But we've had fusion reactors running. MIT had one running for several years, but the power output isn't that great. So compared to what you have to put in.
Besides portability and transmission, I don't think nuclear power can be beat right now in terms of energy generation.
No, and that's why a lot of the countries like France and a few other countries are pretty heavily dependent upon nuclear power. We, however, haven't had a new plant built in God knows how long. To get the Nuclear Regulatory Commission to sign off on that, it would be a minor miracle.
Okay.
Yeah. But
yeah, I think I live in Ontario, up in Canada, and I think we have a nuclear power plant.
We have a few next to me. We have San Onofre. There was Diablo Canyon. But AB, you're trying to say something, but your mic is hard as usual. But hey, give it a shot.
Canyon, absolutely great. Build a nuclear power plant
on a fault line. I know. I've always wanted that myself, Jade. That took some really brilliant reasoning on that one. I'm on that one. I'm like, yeah, that was just dumb.
That was just beyond dumb.
And Petey, do you want to chime in? By the way, this room holds 25 people, so if you're welcome to come in, all you have to do is click the link in the video description, and you can come on in and have a conversation with the Great Debate community. This is obviously a late hangout for us. We were actually with DPR Jones and Hogtie for about, 5 hours prior to this debate in here, and we had, like, I don't know, we had a good people.
Come on!
We had a lot of people watching. We were in triple digits, but this is a late night, so this is unusual for us. So come on in if you want and can.
How often do you do these? It's my first
too
time.
Damn often.
No one here.
Well, here's the thing. The Great Debate community is kind of a network of channels at the moment. I do my particular show on Sunday called The Sunday Show because I have no originality and I suck at picking a name. So that's just kind of stuck for now. The Talking Shit Tuesday is a program that happens on Tuesday on JD Kane's channel, where we just talk shit about people, which kind of like to do at some point here. And then let's see what else. What other things in the network? We've got the Sci Strikes channel. We got Paulogia, who does wonderful videos on debunking Earth creationism. He had some great video out today on Genesis, Paradise Lost. You know, the movie that Eric Hoven has been putting out. Did a great job of that. Eric has been on here a few times. He's a interesting character, to say the least. What other shows we got, Jade? Hannah Zuby was the zoo, but that didn't last long. What's that?
Yeah. I want to start.
You go Redshift.
Oh, Redshift with Red Line, yeah, of course, and Red Rhetoric.
I'm rewriting my little list of stuff that I was going to give you. Remember?
Vaguely.
I said my rules for hangouts.
Oh yeah. Oh, that's right. Because they used to do something called the Science Bitches, or it's Science Bitches. What the hell is the name of your show, Jade?
Yeah. It's the Science Bitches.
Yeah, it's the Science Bitches.
You could look at it as it's a Science Bitches or it's a Science Bitches.
And so they had two women, which colloquially, have been referred to as bitches by themselves, not by us. Right. Don't get all PC on my ass.
Fiona came up with the name.
Yeah, right. Don't get all PC on my ass.
Yeah, we're fine with it.
And Drag has his channel.
It's fun to call them that. They're Catholic. So
yeah, it's Science Catholic Bitches.
Yeah, I know. Really.
Don't forget, Dragnot has his channel, right? He runs hangouts and biological stuff. Apologies in the live chat. He's like, They're mentioning me. I heard my name. Yeah, whatever, Paul.
But I was going to say, Fiona's been struggling with some health issues.
Yeah, she's feeling a little bit better though. It seems, isn't she?
Yeah. She's been in the hospital a couple times, and she's feeling better. And then of course she's just had the worst luck, And then of course after all that, now she's got a problem with her tooth. It's just like
one thing after another.
But the bad thing is it's one thing after another. The good thing is everything is going to be done with. We hope.
Get all the way out of the way. Oh, I forgot the Geek Room. How can I forget the Geek Room? The cheap man's drunken peasants show. Right. But anyways, long story short, and I hope Fiona does feel better, obviously. And there's also the Great Debate Community new channel that's out there, which is the alternate channel to this one, that we're actually be doing more of a philosophical and mathematics on that channel. So if you have an interest in either, not only will we be talking about it in here, but we'll be talking about it on the Great Debate Community channel, especially giving lectures. Like I just did a presentation on Calculus 2 the other day, and I've done one before on this channel on polonium halos. So, and tomorrow we have Dr. Fazrana coming on.
I'd like to do one on radiometric dating.
Do you want to do the presentation for that?
Yeah, well, it's going to involve calculus.
Yeah. Okay. Well,
I'm going to show
the initial things for carbon dating is very simple differential equations. I mean, we could get through that pretty easily. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I've got this great book on differential equations. It's so much fun, and the very first example in the book is they're dating. I don't remember which one in France, and he's talking about how you take the, because they had a fire burning, so there's some residue there left over from the fire. So how do you carbon date the carbon residue left from the fire? Through how to do it. And I thought, this is just a perfect example. I'm going to advertise the book too. I'm going to say I'm taking this from this book. This is a perfect example to go through because it's a very derivative, and all the derivative is a change over time. And I'm going to go through the math and show how it.
So you're going to be doing not only the radiometric decay, which I'd love to sit in a second on that, but you would also be showing.
I'd love to have you.
The differential of how to actually get that, because obviously that's going to be a differential equation, which in that particular case is pretty simple to get to the standard formula for an exponential decay rate. Like we all remember, like P equals ERT, P raised to the ERT. To get to that equation, it's not that complicated from a calculus point of view. It's probably one of the simpler calculations.
You have to let a couple of things go, because we can't explain everything to people. I mean, you can explain the derivative.
I tried. If you remember the hangout that I had on the polonium halos, I kept it really simple. I didn't go into too much detail of how the differential worked. I just explained the basic integration. To get to the actual P equals ERT or whatever you're going to use for your variables there, they don't have to be the same as long as the e's there and it's raised out as an exponential equation. You may have to get a little more deeper into how to integrate the differential to actually get to that. But I have a book on that as well, so we can figure that out pretty easily.
Well, see, that's one of the things I was hoping is to coordinate with you on it.
Yeah, I'm cool.
We both love math and we both love calculus. And I think this would be a good example, because so many people talk about radiometric dating and they don't know how it's done.
I agree.
We talk about radiometric decay, and I want to talk about that. I want to talk about radiometric decay, but I want to show how it's actually done.
Well, speaking of that, and to kind of get back on the potholer thing, to bring it back a little bit, nobody got him to say, there's no fucking carbon in it. What is wrong with people?
I know.
No, a single person got him to say that. And by the way, I am gushing, I'm blushing, gushing, and feeling all awesome that I got the chance to call in and talk to him, and so did Ben here. So
I didn't do as well as I wanted to do, but it was all right. I think Hogtie cut me off. One of the interesting things that one of the follow-up questions that I wanted to ask was if they had any interesting insights on whether or not a scientific law could change, and whether there are any decent examples of that.
You know, okay, here's the thing with scientific laws, and I agree 100% with Potholer on it. A law is generally an empirical formula. It's an empirical relationship of quantities, right? For example, the law of gravity, F equals gm1 m2 divided by r squared. That's a relationship, right? Those generally don't change. However, there is something like, for example, because that is based upon Newtonian physics, that formula technically doesn't really apply in GR. And the reason it doesn't apply in GR is because in GR, and this is where Potholer actually got it wrong. No offense, Potholer. I don't think he was right on this. There is no force of gravity in general relativity. When he's talking about the pen and the earth, remember he was like, they're pulling each other. But in general relativity, what happens when you drop the pen is that the pen follows the natural geodesic curve, will be a straight line, the natural geodesic straight line in curved space. So it's not really a force. It's just following the natural path. So does that formula is that formula invalidated? No, but you're not really dealing with forces in gravity. Gravity as a force in general relativity. So
perhaps scientific laws are only well defined. Perhaps they don't change, but you have to restrict them to certain criteria or an environment in which the answers make sense, right? I mean, if you're not moving at relativistic speeds, Newton's laws work out, but
right, exactly. And that's another thing. As soon as you start going near the speed of light, what happens? Those motions that we take for granted for Newtonian motions and kinematics don't work anymore, right? You got to factor in Lorentz contraction and Lorentz factors. Not that terribly difficult to do, but does it change the fact that the equations still work non-relativistically? No. So it's, again, like you said, it doesn't really change the laws. Newton's laws of motions don't cease to exist because we understand things like relativistic concepts, but you have to, like you said, use it for what it's appropriate to, right?
Right. So
can I say something real quick? I'm sorry, Ben. I don't mean to interrupt you, but Mr. Intelligent Design just said I'm talking nonsense. That means I'm correct. If Mr. Intelligent Design ever tells you you're wrong, you are 100% spot on correct. That's the rule of thumb. Would everybody agree upon that? Has we ever seen that not to be the case?
I gotta say I don't know that. But
I'm asking Jade or
I would say that is correct.
Okay,
but Jade is.
I don't know. I've seen him disagree with Ronnie before.
Well, yeah, but I'm talking about me. I'm talking about us, not when he's dealing with the other idiots over there, you know. But anyways, back to this like Potholer thing. I'm disappointed. I'll be honest. I love the fact that it actually got open to the public. People were able to call in, and I was quite surprised that I was actually first. I didn't really even want to go on. I just actually messaged DPR, but I said whatever. But I really wanted to see them go after it with climate change, because I don't think we have any climate change deniers in the community. I just don't. But I would have liked to seen one try, and that didn't happen. So I'm a little disappointed there. What about you guys think?
Yeah, well, the platform was open.
Climate change is something that I do want to see being debated over, because I think that's a very interesting topic.
But you don't find too many anti-climate. You don't find too many climate denialists, at least around here.
No, not really.
You can find several of them up here.
Well, I mean in the group, in the Great Debate community on YouTube, I don't find too many of them. I don't go out searching for them either, right? I mean, it's like flat earthers; they just seem to like follow me around.
It's an interesting topic, but it's also one that isn't really brought up too often in the GDC.
Climate change?
Yeah.
No, I mean,
I'd think that if anti-evolutionists would be likely to be climate change denialists, so if you find one of those that's in the community, ask them about it.
It's possible, right? I mean, we've established the fact that when you have a batshit level of crazy, there is no end to it, right? So people that believe that the Earth is 7,000 years old, they're more prone to think it's flat. They're more prone to think that climate change isn't real. And the only time this ever came up that I remember, if you guys remember way back when, is when people took what I said and twisted it, like G-Men's doing now, in his videos, that I have only, and I said, if you remember, that I don't know of any paper that has ever confirmed the relationship between anthropogenic gases and the primary cause of climate change. Now, I do agree that is the primary cause. I do think it is, or at least a very, very strong secondary cause. But of course it is a factor, no question, not a question at all. But I did ask that question to Potholer, and even he said he doesn't know any papers that have out there yet, although they're in the works. But I just wanted to reiterate that that's all that I said, and all of a sudden people were like, "Oh, Steve's denying climate change." I'm like, "Fuck off." No, I'm not. That's just retarded. No, you have to be an idiot to think that the climate's not changing. You can go look at the graphs for the last 100 years, and you can see there's been a 2-degree change. That's a lot. So I'm cranky. It's late. What do you want? I've had 12 cups of coffee and I'm on a diet.
So, you said there hasn't been a paper published specifically linking human
anthropogenic gases as the primary cause. I mean, there's probably papers that reference it, and they probably say that there's probably more likely, and that's fair.
It's
that's
the
what papers
overwhelming
do.
majority of the papers
Well, I
are
don't
in
know.
favor of anthropogenic climate change.
I don't know why
That's
you
the
have to get
current
that
consensus,
specific.
right?
I mean, CO2. I mean, we generate CO2, and that's an anthropogenic
Sure.
chemical that we're releasing into the
Compound,
atmosphere. Well, how that?
Yeah.
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 So
I think
how that?
the argument would be that yes, we generate CO2, and the amount of CO2 that we are generating is going to produce a increase in the temperature of the planet, and we can measure the increase in the planet, and that correlates with the amount of extra CO2 we're pumping in, and so QED.
Yeah. No, I think you're right on that. And by the way, people are asking for a rum and Coke night. Guys, come on, I'm on a diet. I can't have rum and I can't have Coke. You're killing me here, people.
Oh, you poor little fella.
I'm telling you, man.
So I don't have to worry about it.
I've had a. I mean, did you see my hangout the other day with the Reginald Finley and Ermine, and I showed my spreadsheet how I broke down the calories and the protein, and I had it worked out to a science. I've already lost 5 pounds, so it is working, but I can't have rum and Coke, guys. So I'm not fat. I just want to lose a little bit of weight. By the way, James, are you going to be able to join us tomorrow morning? RJ?
Tomorrow morning?
Fuzzrana. 9:30.
I thought that was in the evening. Is it 9:30 a.m.?
It's 9:30 a.m.
Well, I'll have to blast myself out. Yes, I was thinking 9:30 p.m.
No.
Yeah, I'll do that.
Okay.
I was. By the way, I'll put a link up here to the charming little thing video. I put a fairly long comment on. He was basically conceding that irreducible complexity is meaningless.
Well, it has to be on topic tomorrow. And irreducible complexity is not the topic. The topic is going to be tomorrow is that it's going to be on human evolution. We've already got questions asked of him and of Bill. There's 4 questions we came up with. I'll get you a copy of them later, or sometime later on tonight or early in the morning. What I kind of want to do as a format is kind of like ask them the questions, or have somebody on the panel. I really don't want to like run this particular hangout tomorrow, because I actually want to kind of be involved if I can, because this is a subject that I like, you like, and maybe if somebody else can kind of like guide it, that'd be kind of cool. But we're going to ask Dr. Rana a question, and then we're going to ask Bill and see how the RTB model, the reasons to believe model, differs from the established evolutionary model, right? And then after they both answer, maybe we'll open it up to the the panel, or we just do all 4 questions and then go through each one with the panel. You guys are going to have to decide what you think is the best way to go. But yeah, that's at 9:30 tomorrow on my channel, and then at 2 o'clock we also have Dr. Kenny Rhodes, who is a theologian PhD from Reasons to Believe. He's going to be coming on just to chill with us. So, but these guys are cool.
And then my thing is at 5 p.m. Pacific time.
What's that? This is Pacific, so 2 Pacific. But like I said, I really like.
So my thing's at 5. My evolution hour 13.
Oh,
I thought I would go after the evolutionary origins of religion.
Oh, that's cool. That's cool. But I mean, I really like the guys from Reasons to Believe. We also have Dr. Hugh Ross coming on next month. That's going to be awesome again. He's really, really awesome to have on my channel. So I have a really good rapport with Reasons to Believe and all the PhDs from that group. So when we have the discussions with them, it is a higher brow discussion. It isn't guttural. It's not basal, but rock bottom. It's not like treating them like the clown car posse, because I have a lot of respect for these people, even though I don't agree with them theologically speaking, obviously. So speaking of which, people I don't agree with, Dragnaut! No, actually, I'm just kidding. My producer, Dragnaut, because this is Talking Shit Tuesday, so this is actually part his show.
Yeah. Can you see the side chat right now?
I cannot, and if I show the side chat, it's going to get broadcast, so I'd rather not.
Yeah. Oh, no, yeah, don't do that. Okay, so, I want to give her. Just got a conversation with somebody. Not going to say who. But they want to give me. They want me to give them a rundown of the whole G-Man saga, as it were, currently. So I wanted to do that, and I'm going to give them a timestamp later when they wake up.
Is this somebody's initial CA?
Hmm?
Is this initial CA?
No.
Okay.
No. I'll tell you. I'll tell you later, but I'm not going to say who it is.
That's cool. I'll tell you what. Let's save that for the Talking Shit part of the Talking Shit Tuesday part. So we can finish up with the Potholer Steven Crowder debate that didn't happen with DPR Jones, who, by the way, I think needed some sleep. I felt bad for him. He'd been up all day with us, right? And then he does this, and he's already sloshed. You know, just oh god,
yeah. I was sending him message after message. I was like, hey, DPR, and just nothing. So I'm like, I'm gonna give him shit tomorrow.
It was fucking hilarious.
I don't think he played that, especially near the end. I mean, I know it was late, but I don't know how much he can excuse it. I don't think he was acting very professionally.
Do you think he got a little aggressive? Especially, I mean, okay, again, I critique everybody fairly, and I love DPR. Don't get it wrong; he's a good friend of the the great debate community. But I will critique him on this one instance. When Potholer just made a reference to the guy's voice that called in comparison to Thunderfoot, the reaction DPR had was grossly over the top. That's what I thought. Now, what do you guys think?
Yeah, I may have missed that part.
It was in the first part because they had technical issues and they had to split up the video. Did anybody watch that first part? We got a live chat.
I was there for that.
So I'm just curious if anybody else saw that part and what they thought of it. So I just thought I just thought it was just over the top. He didn't need it. He got very defensive of Thunderfoot, which I understand, right? But it didn't need to be that. He was just comparing the guy's voice, which, by the way, he did not sound like Thunderfoot. So,
well, I think also the way it felt like he was always asking for attention, just the way that he would bring attention to the fact that it's really, really late, right? But then he would tell Paul, "Oh, but don't worry about it, right? That's okay."
Was it passive aggressive?
Bringing it up. Like,
it was a little passive aggressive. Plus, I know it's like. I think he was kind of, he felt outshadowed by Potholer because, you know, he's one of my all-time heroes. Oh, people are agreeing with me in the live chat. Thank you. I like when people agree with me. I also like when they don't agree with me, so it doesn't matter.
And yeah, especially, like, what an awful way to end it. I mean, those last 30 seconds, he was just talking over. He was just talking over everybody, and he was like, "I'm shutting it down."
He shut down Hogtie. By the way, I've asked Hogtie to jump in. Can you give him the link because I have too many things going on, but I want Hogtie to, if he can, jump in. It's still early for him, but yeah, we guys aren't going to know what we're going to talk about, and I'm just going to end this. And Hogtie, shut up. And I was like, wow, this is getting good actually. But you know, it's DPR. I gotta love him. He's been around a very long time. I've known DPR for years. He's known me for about a month. It's really weird. It's not lying. He just doesn't remember people.
Don't give him too much shit. He was expecting to do an hour show between two guys and ended up doing a 5.5 hour
Is that evidence?
stream. No, I'm a render passerby that jumped in.
He was one of the
stream.
He asked one of the questions.
No. Evidence. You know evidence for you? Do you guys know who I'm talking about? That's not evidence? Because that sounds exactly like evidence.
No, but that was one of the guys that asked the questions.
Are you kidding me? Dude, he sounds exactly like another YouTuber called Evidence for You, that a friend of ours.
Oh, I'll have to look him up.
Oh, I mean, identical. I mean, I swear to God, I don't believe you. I think you're fucking with me because you sound exactly... Jade, back me here. You know Evidence, right? Or Nicola? Anybody? God, why are you people all so quiet tonight?
Oh, there we go.
Yeah, there you go, Jade.
I can confirm that I'm not whoever you're talking about.
I don't. Yeah, you are. Listen to him. He sounds exactly like him. I'm tripping here. Go right now, Barney. Go right now to Evidence for You on YouTube, and he spells it like with a backwards 3.
4.
Is it 4?
Isn't it? Or yeah,
well, you know who I'm talking about, Jade. Does he not sound exactly like him?
Yeah, let me find his channel. How about that?
All right, and then send it over.
I'm subscribed to him, so it should be easy to find.
All right, well, so am I.
Yeah.
But send him over there and don't tell me that he's not identical to him. I'm like tripping here. I wonder if anybody else live knows. But anyways, welcome, Barney.
Open conversation. Everybody drops in. This is the first time I've ever heard about the what's it called, the Great Debate.
Yeah, me too. And I've been with and I started this years ago, but I've just heard of it. No, just kidding. No,
so I just wanted to check. Is it okay to just drop in like this?
By all means.
Do you have any rules of behavior or whatever?
Yeah, okay. There are rules in the GDC. If you actually go to the Great Debate community on G+, there are rules posted there. They're not very complicated, obviously. And also, we have a webpage called www.greatdebatecommunity.com, where you can get like latest videos and links to people in the network. And there's other channels that are involved with us too. I mean, like Holy Kool-Aid. Let's see, we've got Genetically Modified Skeptic. Who else is some name? Oh, or Creationist Cat. He's been in a few times. I mean, so it's basically, we talk about philosophy, we talk about theology, we talk about science. It's a place to go where a group of people, laypersons and experts, can get together and have discussions and on a reasonable level, and people can learn something. If you go to the webpage, it actually gives you a more description about the community, and also we have a Wikipedia too. We actually have our own wiki, so if you want to learn about all the members, we've got, well, not all the members, we've got 1,000 members, but the big players, I would say maybe 100 people, give or take. They have their own web pages in the wiki, and you can like learn about them and stuff. Jade has one, RJ has one, MP has one. Intelligent Design has a huge one. He wrote his own. He's the only person who was allowed to write his own wiki. Nobody else wanted to. So, did that give you an idea?
Yeah, thanks. Okay. I believe you have just gotten a new member.
Awesome.
I've been looking for you.
Well, you know what's funny is people have been... What's that, Jade?
Evidence for you is just going by evidence now.
Okay. Well, send it to him. Let him look. Let me watch those videos and tell me if he doesn't think he sounds like that. But we've had a lot of shout outs lately. The Living Dinosaur, who's been I've been a big fan of for ages. He put a huge shout out to my channel and the Great Debate just the other day on one of his videos called Just a Quickie. And let's see, we had let's see, it wasn't Godless Engineer. Who was it that did it? Oh, Godless Cranium did a shout out to us. Obviously, have you watched any of the Kent Hovind debates with King Crocoduck? Because those have all been on my channel. So if you've seen any of those have all been on my channel. Because we have a thing with Ken Hovind to actually do his debates, or most of his debates. If not, they'll do them on like General Han Solo's channel, who's part of the network as well. So yeah, we're growing. We're growing pretty big, actually. A lot of members in our group have 10, 20,000 subs, so not bad. General, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Yeah, did you not watch that, the Potholer, Steven Crowder?
No, I didn't even know about it.
Yeah, Steven did a show, and then what happened was DPR just opened it up for Skype calls to Potholer, which was amazing because I get to call in first. Now, I don't know if DPR gave me preference. I honestly don't know. If he did, great, thank you. I'm not going to complain.
What was the debate meant to be on? And
climate
who's
change.
The debate upon? Okay.
Steven Crowder, the fucking, I guess, climate skeptic, if you want to call him that. And
we have another name for that. We call it idiot. Yeah.
Yeah, I've kind of seen some of his positions on Rational Wiki, and I honestly hope they're a joke. I mean, I see that he's a comedian, but like using how many polar bears are walking around as an evidence, as I guess, for his position. Like, really?
What?
Yeah, supposedly the number of polar bears.
Yeah, I don't know any of his arguments. I don't watch his stuff.
Okay, the polar bears are in trouble. Polar bears have shown that they're in trouble. Some of them are starving. Where the fuck does he come off with the number of polar bears?
Let me see if I can find it, because I was reading that from. I was like, I know I've heard of this guy before, but I haven't heard his specific positions, and so let me pull him up again.
But people started a hashtag on Twitter, hashtag Cower with Crowder, which I thought was cute.
Yeah.
Wait,
Okay.
so was
sounds like
was
they
this
connect
meant
the
to
ocean.
happen in like 5 hours ago?
What's that? That was
By the
like,
way, who's hissing?
I don't know. Is that Cal? Let me see. Calzer, is that you?
Yeah, that's Calzer. Jeez. Okay.
Damn, Calzer.
Oh.
You sounds like you're
I
near
wanna
the
read a
ocean.
little-
Yeah. So this debate was meant to happen 5 hours ago, and Steven Crowder has been on Twitter 50 minutes ago.
Yeah, no, he was also doing some broadcast or something.
Yeah.
Is that better? Sorry.
No.
So little. It sounds like a fan in the back or something. Just a little bit. But let me read a little bit. I'm just on Rational Wiki. It says another went away from climate change altogether and portrayed an increased number of polar bear numbers following a ban on hunting as proof that polar bears are not being harmed at all by climate change. And in another section, Crowder insisted that climate change models are worthless due to the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration not being able to predict an exact number of hurricanes per year.
That's fucking stupid. Does he understand? No, he doesn't.
No,
There are a number of
that's a stupid question,
variables
Jade.
involved in hurricanes. And believe it or not, one of the variables that's involved in hurricanes is the dust coming off the Sahara. We've been here before with the dust coming off the Sahara in a different sense. There are very complex calculations about how many hurricanes there are going to be per year. And even then, we can come close to predicting the number of tropical storms, but we can't tell whether they're going to become hurricanes or not, because things are constantly changing. Down in Mexico right now, isn't it, in the Gulf building, I think. So that's stupid. That is so beyond stupid. And the polar bears are in trouble. Has he been living in a cave?
He's on crack.
For the last 3 years, the news has been polar bears are in trouble.
Well, let me ask you, Jade.
They are starving. They're fighting.
What do you think his motivation is?
He's stupid. I'm sorry. Just stupid.
But Jade, what do you think his motivation is? Just cause controversy so people pay attention to him?
No, I think he's speaking to a particular audience that wants to hear that message.
Okay, so he's catering to people for whatever reason.
Yes, yeah.
Okay.
Well, most likely for money.
Well,
this is how you
that's
make
usually
money,
the case, right? Look at Alex Jones, right?
Or a better example to me is Rush Limbaugh. When Rush Limbaugh got started, all the other, a lot of other radio hosts. See, Rush Limbaugh had been a radio host, but he was a failure. Regular radio host. So he went into
a sportscaster.
Yeah, the whole Joe Pine, Morton Downey Jr. kind of thing.
Yeah.
Where you're just, you're familiar with that.
Yeah,
I
I was a big Rush fan when he first started. I actually read his book, The Way Things Ought to Be, and I actually thought it was very good. I didn't like what happened later on, how he progressed. I wasn't a big fan.
Right, but they were saying back then, they were laughing at it, not necessarily laughing at him, but laughing at the phenomenon, because they were like, hey, and kind of a little impressed, because it was like, hey, he found a shtick. When Rush started out, he was only doing this for the money. Only doing it for the money. Today, I think he probably believes his own bullshit. I don't know. Well, he may just still be doing it for the money.
Well, I mean, I think all those guys do it for money. I mean, they get paid to be entertained.
You know what I mean.
But see, I've always looked at Rush as an entertainer. I've never looked at him as somebody who's, going to put out, legit information as far as science. I mean, he's not a science commentator. He is a entertainer first. So I don't care what the hell Rush has to say about science. Matter of fact, he says some pretty shitty, stupid stuff about science.
Oh yeah.
So let's be honest here.
Yeah, he has, and about people. He
denies evolution.
And years ago he went after Sandra Fluke for the because she wanted to testify against Congress on birth control and paying for birth control. She had an extremely good point, but he ripped her to shreds for 3 days. And he did it simply because his audience, and it was just despicable. I mean, it was just horrific what he did, and lied through the whole thing. So yeah, he's doing it for money, he's doing it to get an audience. He's just gone too far, and he's lost most of his advertisers and everything like that. He lost his regular gig and everything. So
let me ask you this:
the thing is, I know he's full of shit, but unfortunately, there are people who actually believe him.
Why doesn't Crowder go full scale? Why does he go into like flat Earth? He wants to Like really go out there or just, I mean, there's so many different scams out there, like young earth creationism, flat earth. There's ways of people making money by saying stupid shit that does resonate with a very small group of people that are willing to be parted with their money.
Because the last person who tried to go full flat earth to make money off of it ended up living under a bridge.
But he was very successful prior to that.
A troll living under a literal bridge.
But he was very successful prior to that. And I'll have to tell you, the only probably reason why he got a takedown was all the effort that fucking Reds had put into it, that Reds Rhetoric had done. Among some other people. I mean, obviously, like George Nook and people on Earth Channel discussions. But, I mean, how much was Jeranism making prior to all that bullshit? He was doing pretty goddamn well.
Yeah, so not really. $1,700 a month.
So your hypothesis is that these people do not believe their own shit, that they're just doing it to scam people.
It depends. It really depends. Like, for example,
I think it's attention. I think it's attention, to be honest.
There are pros in
just because when you believe such stupid nonsense, it gets attention and therefore ad revenue.
There are pros that do pretend to be flat earthers. I would say well over probably half don't believe flat earth, but they like fucking with people, and the other half do believe it, and they can't tell which ones are which, right? They can't tell each other apart. But there are people that are honest, that believe their own bullshit. We got one in here right now. Hey. I'm not talking about you, but there is somebody in here that
good to see how sensitive you are, though.
Yeah, there you go. You know, I'm not paranoid, but they're talking about me. But he actually believes his own nonsense. He actually is convinced his bullshit is true, even though he's been demonstrated that it's utterly, utterly wrong. So in that particular case, no, he's not even doing it for money. He actually believes his nonsense is correct. You know, what are you going to do with something like that? They're just an idiot. This is talking shit, so you can call people names. We don't mind.
Yeah, or they've invested so much in a particular point of view that they can't back away from it. I'm sure that there are some of these evangelists. I always want to mispronounce that. Evangelists out there. Yeah, who don't. No, I'm talking about the evangelists, preacher guys. Yeah. You know, who probably don't even believe in God.
Oh, Peter Popoff and those guys, or Benny Hinn. I have no doubt they're probably a lot more atheistic than they laid on.
There's actually a lot.
Benny Hinn is actually like on
just believe record. that's their only skill set, so they have to preach. You know.
Yeah.
So they
Benny Hinn was actually recorded saying that no, he doesn't actually believe anything that he's saying.
I don't think he does either. I don't think Benny Hinn does either. And I think.
Yeah, but he was recorded saying that apparently.
I have no evidence.
Like Peter Popoff, he is full of shit, but he might believe the stuff that he's peddling.
Macabre in the. One second. Macabre in the live chat, before we go too much further, he wants to know more detail about Jeranism, what you said, which I've heard before. Is he really homeless, or did he get back on his feet? Because I feel bad for him, but not really, because he's misled so many people.
The last I heard from Reds was that Jeranism was doing his show out of his car.
You know, it's hard to have sympathy for him, though. It really is.
And we started joking about, like, oh, is he living under a bridge or something? And I said, well, that would be fitting because, you know, you have a troll living under a bridge.
Yeah, but so here's the thing, though. I wouldn't ever want to wish that upon somebody like G-Man. I wouldn't ever want to wish that upon somebody like Ronnie. But when it comes to Jeranism, he has deliberately misled people, and I have very little sympathy for him. And by the way, did Drag leave? Where did Drag go?
Can you guys hear me?
Yeah.
No.
We can hear you fine. I think we can hear you
finally.
Where did Drag not go?
We can hear you, Max. Yeah,
Drag, get back in here.
He went to try on his wife's bras.
Finally. I've been trying to get my mic to work forever.
We can hear you better than people can hear.
Hey, Jay, do you want to see something?
Yeah. As long as it's not going to get a flag for...
No.
Steve.
He's fine.
Sure, yeah.
I wish you would focus.
I have to click on
Puppy.
you. Yeah.
Look at that ugly dog. He's so ugly.
It's very blurry.
Yeah.
He's so ugly that the camera doesn't even want to blur. I feel so sorry for him.
Stop it. She's beautiful.
Now, we want to do cute dogs. Come here, Dexter.
Oh yeah, let's do dogs.
All right, Dave. Let's see the puppy. Let's see the puppy.
Come here, Dexter.
You have to go higher. You have to go higher because I got the.
blurry.
Oh,
That's
there we go.
a beautiful dog.
Has to be.
There we go. There we go.
I can't. Oh, I can barely see because of the panel, but yeah.
Oh no, that's a better picture there, Max.
Wiley.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Hey, Wiley.
Too.
Whoa! Look a pig. Your Mike. Oh, look a pig. Oh, you. Oh God, damn. Look a pig.
What was that?
Your mic got possessed, dude. Satan has taken over your mic and took it down to hell.
Let's look at pig's audio.
Is there a hurricane going on?
Jesus fucking.
So I have a groundage problem in my house. And
You
that's what
think?
happens when something happens.
Damn,
Oh,
look a
dear.
pig. I already got deafened the other day. I was over in Krillism's Discord. No, check
The
it out.
funny thing is, my stepdad's an electrician, and you know, it's just not a big enough problem to fix.
No, check it out, look a pig. I was over in Krillism's Discord the other day, and some fucker decided to come in and start screaming at his top of the fucking lungs. And by the time I got my headphones and everything off, my ears is still fucking hurting from that.
When did G-Man join Krillism's Hangout?
That wasn't G-Man. I didn't. But
Steve.
But it sucked.
Oh,
But,
can you send me a link to the Discord?
He can't help it. That's just the way he talks. Drink my beer.
but where did Drag go? Because I did want to mention.
What
Yes,
would you like to be called?
What, Jade?
Pig.
Pig is
Or
okay.
look a
Yeah.
pig, or
Pig.
that annoying asshole. It doesn't matter.
The guy with a shitty mic that has needs a ground.
Yeah, that worked. No, my dad was an electrical engineer, but he was also an electrician. He had an electrician's license, and my mom was always bitching at him to fix stuff. He just didn't think like you're. He just didn't think it was that important, you know.
Good
She
morning.
gets so mad at him
That was
because all
really-
he needed to do was fix a switch on the TV, and my dad and I were just fiddling with it until we got it to work. My mom would get so mad. I want to turn it on and have it work. You know, why could it work? You just have to do this.
So
That's a common thing, though, with professions. Auto mechanics have the shittiest vehicles because they just don't want to work on their own vehicles. Carpenters have shitty houses, but yeah.
So I guess we're gonna.
Mechanics know how to make their vehicles work. You know, I mean.
I guess we're gonna
No,
wrap
you
it
just
up a
have
little
to do this, it
bit
works.
for the potholer thing. We're gonna need to move on a little bit.
Yeah.
But did anybody else want to add anything to the Potholer54? It was great to talk to him. Ben got to talk to him. I noticed Eat Meal got to talk to him.
I never got to see your part, Steve.
Well, it's in 2 different videos because they had a 5-minute break, so there's actually going to be 2 videos that are uploaded. I was in the very first one.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I'll have to
Oh,
go
by
back
the
and watch. I was outside.
by the way, sorry, I lost track. Steve, the transit, the Eclipse ISS transit, Smarter Every Day, the Smarter Every Day channel actually caught it and actually got good footage. It was a ISS transit during the eclipse, and they caught it.
Yeah.
Nice.
I saw that too.
Yeah, it's transit.
Yeah, I posted about that too, wasn't it?
Yeah, I think
Incredible?
it's like number 5 trending right now. Everyone has seen it.
Awesome.
Oh, cool.
I haven't yet, but
I have yet to see it. I need to see it.
I was nerded out. I went to go I made a little pinhole in camera kind of thing, and I checked out it got about, I think, 60 some odd % here was.
It was 80% where I live. Oh, I made a projector out of old telescope.
It was 100% where I
Well, mine burned off here,
and a
Jade.
pilot.
It was overcast in the morning. Yours didn't burn off? Because mine did.
Sunny day after 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 sunny day. We have an eclipse and it's overcast and it's heavy overcast. And it's like next day, sunny day, sunny day. What the?
Sucks to be you.
Somebody said.
I
Somebody.
actually have the exact same setup. Well, not the setup, but the idea that Sean Huffer did by taking time lapse images. I got 2 sets of ISO eclipse glasses, one for myself, and I took the other one and cut out the film and put it on a cheap telephoto lens for my cell phone, and I was able to get time lapse. I have not uploaded them yet, but yeah, it's pretty much the same thing that Sean Huffer did.
Cool.
Steve, did you see my pictures?
I saw some.
stared at the
I don't think I
overcast.
saw them all.
I look fog.
Yeah, it was almost ruined for me too, Jade, but you saw my pictures. I got to see
Yes,
totality.
Yeah, that was cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, you got to see like
I definitely wasn't in the
beginning and
path of
end, right?
totality. But that would have been awesome
No,
to
I
do
photographed
that.
the whole thing.
Wish I had
almost.
totality.
Oh, that would have been so cool. Just that would have been
If I
just
had
amazing.
totality of it. I could have killed myself.
Oh my god!
happily.
Oh my god! We're still getting some spikes of demonic mic possession. So could someone?
We need an exorcist.
Yeah.
Oh, I did. Speaking of that, did anyone see the screaming demons? I understand that at Totality, the screaming demons were supposed to be released from hell. Did anyone see them?
No, and I thought that the trumpets were supposed to blare, and the earth was going to swallow us up, and Nibiru was going to come back, and yeah.
I heard of.
I did, however,
demons. I'm so disappointed.
I did, however, have someone on in my notifications somewhere, I can't remember where, it said that, well, since this is 7 years from the crosshairs from 2017 to April 8th, 2024, and it's in the middle of the, what's that fault line in the middle of the U.S., so yeah, this is like, yeah, the end of the world.
Oh, the new Madrid?
Yeah, the new Madrid, yeah.
Madrid. They pronounce it differently. Madrid.
Madrid.
I know. Well, this is America, where we have Lima, Peru. I mean, Lima, Peru, but we have Lima, you know. And anybody know what the capital of South Dakota is?
I have no clue.
Well, I'll give you a hint. It's spelled Pierre.
Here. Well,
I was born in South Dakota. I know that one. Yeah, it looks like Pierre.
I've never been anywhere.
The only places I've been everywhere in the United States besides the Dakotas, so just about.
I've been nowhere except parts of the East Coast.
I would like to point out, by the way, I hope everybody's ready to party tomorrow, because it's the end of the world.
As we know it.
The end of the world as we know it.
It's the end of the world again.
It's the end of the world again. I know.
Well, it might be. I gotta be up early tomorrow for this hangout tomorrow. So this.
But is it like no, you were there for 2012.
By the way, does anybody before I forget, does anybody else going to be joining us tomorrow for the Fuzz Roundup besides RJ and Jade? Does anybody else want to? General, I don't know what time it is for you there. If it's 9:30 in the morning, what time? No, you'll be like evening time for you, won't it?
Wait, is it happening tomorrow?
Yeah, I have two RTPs members coming in tomorrow. I have Fuzz coming in the morning at 9:30. He's gonna be talking to Bill. Then I got Pastor Kenny Rhodes at 2 p.m. Don't God damn. Pastor Kenny Rogers is gonna be singing. You gotta know when to hold him.
The gamble will bring you tomorrow.
I was raised on the dairy.
Hey,
what, General?
Guys, I have a question. How many people genuinely thought the eclipse would be the end of the world?
Nobody
or
that
the
I
apocalypse of some kind.
I don't think anyone here.
I have an IQ over 12, so yeah, I don't think
I think tomorrow
Is Satan raping my microphone?
No, I think that the 23rd sort of overwrote the eclipse. You know, the 23rd was far too important that I don't think very many people cared about the world ending at the eclipse. But tomorrow is the day.
What's the deal with the 23rd?
But it's already 23rd.
I think it's September 23rd. September 23rd.
Weird.
Yeah, it's September.
Oh, it's September. Oh, darn it. It's not tomorrow.
By the way,
I was all ready to party.
What's up
with it?
Well, it's already what's supposed to happen is apparently the Bible predicts like some sort of, in Revelations it predicts that like the sun and a bunch of other planets will be in the constellation of Virgo, and that's supposed to coincide with the end of the world, something like that.
Okay, listen. First of all, Apologia, there's room. This room holds 25 people, so you can come in, Apologia. Please try to come in. There's plenty of room. Link is in the description. But anybody who thinks that the Earth is going to end on September 23rd, all I got to say to you is, can I have your shit? You don't want it? Can I have your shit? Just send it to me now, because you're not going to need it.
I'm going to be interviewing Michael Heiser on that day in regards to that.
If anything, I'll blow my brain.
You have Michael Heiser coming? Guys, you know what? Hang on, guys, listen. Guys,
calm down.
Everyone, shut up.
There's going to be a lot of people in this room. We can't all talk over each other, so I need the people just not interject. I will call on people, or if you got something to say, put it in the live chat, and then we'll kind of, or the group chat, and we're gonna have a lot of people in here, so we just can't be talking over each other. So, General, you said you're gonna have Michael Heisner on your channel?
Yeah.
Next month?
Yeah. So Wayne was been wanting to get Heiser on, so he's been emailing Heiser, and then Heiser randomly messaged him like 2 nights ago saying, "Hey, weren't we meant to have like a hangout or something?" And Wayne totally forgot. So here's what's so funny about this. So Wayne replies back saying, "Okay, how about 23rd September?" And Wayne was oblivious to the conspiracy theory of 23rd September. So Wayne's like,
nice.
Yeah, how about 23rd September? And so Heiser starts laughing, going, "Yeah, let's do it on the day to celebrate."
But that's gonna be on your channel or Wayne's?
You know, he's obviously joking.
Yeah. Yeah.
But is it coming on?
So apparently he's gonna come on my channel.
Are you going to have an open type hangout? Is that like something that we could pop in at some point too? Because I'd like to meet the guy.
Yeah, definitely. So I would like to have an opportunity for Q&A and so.
And somebody had asked.
I mean, let's think about this. Me personally, I'm the youngest in here, but I've survived the 2006, the 6th of the 6th, 06. I've survived 2011's Howard camping. I've survived 2012, and I've survived 2015.
And I've survived, and I survived the Jupiter effect.
You survived far more than just that.
All beat.
What was going to happen in 2015?
Yeah, Jade has us beat by far because, like, I was born in 1990, and I've survived.
Yeah, well, Jade survived.
Apocalypse predictions.
Jade survived the global flood, so that tells you.
Yeah,
you know, so.
Yeah, Jade. Yeah, I rode a crocodile through the.
Somebody had asked me. Somebody asked me in the live chat. They thought I had Rachel Oates on tomorrow. No, Rachel Oates is coming on, not this Wednesday, next Wednesday, people. So if you don't know who Rachel Oates is,
when am I going to get a hangout on my own? When am I going to get a debate?
You can debate anybody you want. You can go to the great.
Okay,
look at. Let me throw it. Guys,
I want to debate G-Man.
Let's
do that.
There's
on my skill set.
Listen to me carefully. The Great Debate community page. I don't care who runs it for a manager. Right now I have like 10 managers. I think 5 have only decided to do a hang on it. If you have a specific topic, and you've shown yourself to be worthy enough, and I mean that only mean responsible. I don't care if you pick a topic that's great debate oriented and run your own hangout, like Richard's been doing, like the audience has been doing. They've done a great job. General did one. Of course, he did one monologue, but whatever.
Yeah. The general.
That's fine.
Monologue. General that I remember of.
Pig.
It is one of those I need to respond to G-Man moments. So
yeah. Pig, what kind of subjects do you like?
We'll get to G-Man.
Shit, I don't know. Mostly religious right now.
Just quickly,
I'm studying Egyptian hieroglyphics.
Yeah.
So, Steve, apparently, I'm meant to be debating Aaron Ra this Friday.
What?
Ooh. I don't know what. Yeah.
Oh, is that? Are you talking? Okay. Richard's moderating that, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, Richard told me. Yeah, he told me.
Yeah, the thing is,
I didn't know Aaron solidified it yet.
He just set it up without even asking whether I'm ready for that.
I know nothing about it. All I heard from Richard is that Richard had asked Aaron, and that Aaron agreed. I was like, okay,
Yeah, I'm fine. I'm fine with debating Aaron. It's just this week I'm completely flat out.
What's the topic?
I have no fucking idea.
Something to do with Bible and science.
Well, here's the thing. First of all, I don't mind moderating that. I'll have that on this channel. Richard had asked to have it on this channel, the Greatest DGC. I don't know. Does Richard want me to moderate that, or is Richard going to moderate that?
I don't know. Apparently, he's still waiting on Aaron to confirm the time.
Yeah.
But either way, I'm telling Richard, hey, I'd rather give me time to maybe make a presentation or specifically look at specific arguments Aaron makes.
Well,
so that I can.
I know a lot of Aaron's arguments. I mean, Aaron's joined us many times. I've never bothered Aaron for really anything. If I need to get a hold of him, obviously I'll have Drag do it, or Aaron's promoted my channel on his Facebook before. But other than that, I really don't like going to Aaron because he's such a busy person running for state senate. So I don't like to really, like, when it comes to like Hovind, I don't give a shit.
Like I'd rather do it in a season where I don't have my mind focused on other things at the moment.
Well, take that up with Richard.
Yeah.
I knew nothing about it. Richard told me like just the other day, and I'm like, okay, I guess, sure. You know, but I mean, I'm glad that people are going out and getting people, but I mean, try to get newer people. I mean, again, we don't really want to bug people like Arn or you know, some of the bigger people we know.
No, and that's why he got hold of Jim. Which, to be honest, I actually really enjoy that one. Jim seems a very nice person.
Jim. Oh, you talk about Atheist Edge?
Jim,
yeah, he was cool.
Yeah,
I liked him.
He's very down to earth.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I liked him.
And Floyd FP and I have decided to have a debate near the end of this year, December.
Well,
and
a lot of
possibly
people,
on Exodus as well.
A lot of people give you so much shit, General, and it's kind of funny when I asked him, I'm like, you know, hey, if you think General is so full of crap, why don't you discuss things with him? The problem, I think, is that what you talk about, General, is so highbrow when it comes to biblical, information and reading it out of the Hebrew and the Ugaritic and all this other crap. You have to have, or somebody has to have a pretty deep understanding to even understand your argument. And if they don't, what happens is they just think you're talking out of your ass. I know you well enough to know, and I know that you're scholarly.
Not my fault.
I get that. No, dude, I understand that. I know you're not pulling this shit out of your ass. I know you're scholarly, and I know your background, and I know you know your physics and all this shit, right? I vouch for you because I know your shit. But I think what happens is this is just constructive criticism. You don't present it in a way where that these people that are not up to that level really understand it, and maybe you just need to bring it down a notch.
They don't want to debate him. Steve, they don't want to debate him because they're chicken shits.
That might be true. You know, like I don't agree with him on his concordance stuff, right? I just don't see what General sees in the concordance stuff. I get that.
Yeah, that's the only thing Steve.
But the rest of the stuff you talk about, I'm with you. I think you're pretty well right on how you read all this stuff. I do, right? But you need to find a way to tone it down and realize you're not talking to your students, right? You're not talking to a class. These are people that for the most part aren't really literate. Like when you're talking to G-Man, you are talking to literally a 2-year-old, right? So I mean,
like
mentally it's a 2-year-old, so you can't be going too highbrow.
It's hard though.
I know.
Need a special scoop.
Dude, welcome to my world, man. I know.
I have Freddie, get out of there. I have a challenge for General.
Oh, this ought to be good.
Today, G-Man made a video saying that the Big Bang Theory isn't science.
Oh yeah,
I've seen that.
That was fun.
General,
oh, that's interesting.
Yeah, check that out, General, and see if you can try to explain the Big Bang Theory.
It's 3.5 minutes long of the most dumbest fucking interpretation of the Big Bang I've ever heard in my life.
Try to win a fist fight with
you know what? Wall. You want me? In fact, you want me to do that? I could do another 10-minute, like very brief.
Well, I don't want to do it right now, but
well, yeah,
we already did. We already ran over it this morning. I already put my cents in.
I mean, I would love to see have you do a. I'm sorry. No, I was saying I would love to see you do a rapid fire on that General.
It was. Oh, look who we got coming in here. We got a guest.
I was thinking this entire time everyone was talking, General. I was picturing old General. You know, the dude who had an acid concussion. Not new General.
Don't know who that is.
Okay.
All right, real quick, because I want to ask Hogtie before Hogtie has to go because he drops in and bombs and leaves. So hang on. So General, watch that video by G-Man, that 3.5 minute video. We've already torn it apart, but it is comically fucking stupid. It is clear he has no idea in the world what the hell Big Bang Theory is. No idea, right?
On a scale of 1 to G-Man, how stupid is it?
It's a -12. It's Ronnie level dumb, right? So. Yeah, I can't. He's talking about how protons are produced the moment of the Big Bang, and I'm like, oh fuck, there's no protons. Dude.
It's Kevin G talking about how bum sex makes you bald, stupid.
Yeah, it's worse than that. It's probably it's what's his name? It's Carlos level that being gay sex produces HIV.
No, not gay sex. Just butt sex.
Just butt sex
causes spontaneous generation.
Yeah, produces. Oh, that's just weird.
Didn't cause HIV.
No, he thinks he thinks it spontaneously creates the HIV virus.
No, it creates new viruses. Wholly new ones that we have no idea.
These guys, you have to remember the Clown Car Posse. When we tell people how dumb these people are, they have no idea the level of ignorance that these group is at. We cannot do them justice because all the dumb fuckery they've had over the years. Look at Nephilim Free when he started. I mean, back in 2009, right? The level that he was at was just mind-bogglingly stupid.
Best quote from Steve was that mountains couldn't be millions of years old because gravity would have sucked all the water out of them.
He's explaining why okay, I don't know which is worse. In fact, maybe General should do this. Watch Nephilim Free's video where he is having a fictitious debate with Hugh Ross, explaining why the Big Bang couldn't happen. You just got to rip your head off going, oh my God, just make it stop. It is so nonsensical, right? So I don't know which is dumber. Nephilim Free's video against the Big Bang or G-Mez. Maybe that should be a contest. Because they're both utterly stupid. But anyways, Hogtie.
Well,
real quick.
G-Man is current, so I would go with that one.
Okay, fair enough. So G-Man, sorry, so Hogtie, that was kind of abruptly ended. I realized that DPR had a little bit much.
He was tired and emotional.
He was tired and emotional. I'm not faulting him, although I think he went a little overboard with the Thunderfoot thing. Were you watching then?
Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, you know what? DPR, it's DPR. Can't fault him too much. But anyways, did you enjoy that?
It was fun. It was fun.
Okay.
I wish I'd have come in on a less kick the door open sort of a tone, but. Yeah, guy says something wrong. You're gonna correct him. 130,000 subscribers. Fuck you. I'm Hogtie Champ. I'm gonna tell you you're wrong.
Yeah, you're having at it, weren't you? Hey, Pothole, let me tell you why you're wrong, motherfucker.
Yeah, that was okay. But so I just got off Skype with him actually, and of the various, I'll say, tired and emotional topics that came up. Once that sort of thing was settled, he was inquisitive about the sort of, when you talk about this sort of concept of theory and what authors are you talking about? He's looking for references. I mean, Potholer doesn't like being wrong about stuff, and he's just aggressive. Instead of burying his head in the sand and saying, well, somebody says I'm wrong, therefore they're a jerk. He's got to be like, oh, he's hungry. He wants to know more about it. But
cool.
But no, that was fun. A couple of weird moments, but it was a good time. And we did talk a bit about whether or not he should do more kind of live stuff, and come do a great debate thing or whatever, and identified a couple of the concerns, mostly technical stuff, which I'm sure we can work out, but that'd be fun. Get him to pop in sometime.
So he's now familiar with the great debate then, somewhat. I mean, 2 people mentioned it. Actually, 3 people mentioned it, I think. So.
Well, he still, remember, he's
pushing for shows.
Okay, I was able to confirm that account. So I was asking in the external chat of, can somebody please confirm this is the right account or not? He's not sure that he has one, but he must. But that account appears to be his, but whatever. So no, he doesn't get Plus or Hangouts. He doesn't watch it. He doesn't participate in it. So it would be sort of, there's a whole technical hurdle there to sort of bridge that. But yeah, it's not really his cup of tea, so to speak.
Right,
I don't think we're going to be getting regular attendance. But yeah, he knows that people like to discuss these issues, and he's open to the idea of, popping in and hopefully be a little less fan gushing. It's hard, though.
It's hard, dude. I gushed. I mean, it's Potholer, for God's sake. I mean, let's be realistic, dude. I mean, he's one of my all-time favorites, right?
Yeah.
I don't even know that.
He really enjoys it. I think tonight was kind of a rare thing for him to have so many people really express to him. He puts so much work into his content, and he gets, great video, Potholer, but then he gets a lot of people telling me stupid. And just to have some people line up and to say, hey, I really enjoy your stuff. As much as he was looking forward to having somebody from Crowder's point of view come in and have an actual discussion of the material, this is probably a close second for him.
I think he enjoyed it. He seemed to enjoy it. And he didn't want to end it early, so I think he wanted to continue, and at least he kept it open for quite some time, which he didn't have to. But I do have a legend coming in next week. Can you name the legend that I have coming in next week?
Ray Comfort.
He's not as big as Pothole. He only has maybe.
Oh, you mean like a YouTube legend? I don't know.
Yeah, I'll give you a hint. TLD.
For real? Ray Comfort's coming up.
Fuck Ray Comfort. TLD. Who's got the initials TLD? He's got about 32,000.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
No,
do you know what I'm talking about?
Oh man, I've never spoken with him. He's I don't know anybody who's talked to him like a real person. I don't know anybody who's talked to him.
The Living Dinosaur?
Yeah, that's a great kid. Yeah.
Really?
I don't know anybody who's talked to him.
Oh, he came into the hangout. He came into my hangout the other day. He was here
he
for a while.
did?
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh,
he
no,
loved
he's
it.
quite
He
cool.
loved
Yeah,
it.
no,
Why
I
do you
love his
think
stuff.
he loved it? Why do you think he made the video? He went on his own channel. He said, "Hey," he put a video called "Just a Quickie," saying, "You guys have got to go check out this new channel." Well, not new because I've been around for years now, but new to him. But Steve McRae, great to be a community, and yeah, I just talked to him.
I didn't see that.
Yeah,
Again, I'm not. There are lots of channels I don't get notifications for. I do get Apologia notifications now, but I don't. Arn puts up a video, I don't see it. Living Dinosaur puts one up. I was, this is part 3 of something. I got to go back and try to find the other ones.
Right?
But,
just FYI, I have reserved seats. Macabre and One Clown Shoe in the live chat. Both of you have seats reserved for when the Living Dinosaur get in, because I know you guys are big fans of his. So yes.
So, and one thing I noticed that's interesting, and as a Potholer was not impressed by this aspect of it. So apparently, there's all sorts of Crowder coward puns that can be made. There's the picture of the chicken behind the wheel with the Crowder face, and there's the whole Cower with Crowder thing that's going on.
I thought that was awesome. He didn't like that.
That's bullshit. That's bullshit.
Yeah, not happy. Well, I mean, it's the optics of it. I mean, what was, is it going to come across that that the whole point of having a scheduled moderated debate was just so that the guy wouldn't show, so that people could make fun of him? I think it's a bit of an empty concern, because I was telling him,
after he requested
jerks.
that debate.
What's that?
After he requested that debate.
But you had to know that was going to happen, though, right? I mean, come on. If he's not going to show, people are going to talk shit. Welcome to the internet.
Yeah. Well, that's what I said. That's what I said. So I said, you think, as I say to Potholer said, honestly, do you think your viewers, the people who like watching Potholer videos, are going to say to Steven Crowder something worse than what other people say to him on his various forms of social media? Like, he gets called a lot worse things than, you're chickened out of this debate. I'm
pretty sure that's not going to faze him, to be honest with you.
Not going to bother him a bit.
Not going to faze him.
Not going to bother him a bit.
Dude, the guy can walk down the middle of the street in his underwear. I think nothing really bothers him that much, man.
That's some courage. That's some courage.
Right. If anything, it might actually get him to go to the debate if enough shame comes his way. But I don't think enough shame could come his way. Like you said, he walks down the street in his underwear.
Shame?
I don't think enough shame to come his way to change his mind.
Well, I would hate for, if there is any likelihood. And by the way, we discussed, and I can't say that, but there was one topic that Potholer is really excited to talk about Steven Crowder with, and genuinely excited, not like rubbing his hands together, like, I'm going to crush this guy. But this would be a really, really interesting conversation. And if this conversation takes place, I've sort of been discouraged from saying what the specific topic is, which I know sounds weird, but if it happens and you guys see this discussion, you go, wow, that's a really interesting, honest, enlightening discussion. And I would hate to see sort of audience reaction or embarrassment or something make it less likely that that's going to happen. But we'll see. I mean, everybody there's, Steven Crowder's a grown up, people are grown ups, and people are on the internet are going to say stupid things. And he knows that. But I just think Potholer doesn't want to be seen as somebody who encourages the sort of pitchfork and torch mentality, which I don't think he will be seen that way, because he's not that way. I think he just, I think there's some value in revealing these people out here that don't seek the truth, people out there who see even scientific investigation as part of identity politics. Your team believes this, my team believes that. Oh, here's some evidence. Well, that proves my team's theory, and that disproves your team's theory. It doesn't matter if it's creation, evolution, flat Earth, round Earth, climate change, whatever the topic is, vaccine. People who fall into this mentality, and those people that tend to have that mentality, when they're given a chance to say, well, let's discuss a specific issue, let's try to resolve a single factual matter, then suddenly that's not an appealing discussion. And I do think there's some value in having things happen like what happened tonight, where you say, okay, let's organize it, let's get together, it's not going to be rancorous, it's not going to be a fight or personally insulting, we're going to discuss a specific issue. Well, then suddenly it all falls apart on their end. And I think there's some value in showing that to other people who are actually interested in how we go about seeking the truth.
Yeah, and I think they recovered pretty well, considering, Crowder didn't show, so I think they made the most of it, and it came out really well. I mean, there was a lot of people that were able to go in, ask questions. I think that that really reached a wide audience. I mean, when I looked at the first video, when it uploaded, because remember they had to split it because they took a 5-minute break, it already had like almost 10,000 views. Ridiculous amount, right? Because there was 1.8K watching at the time, and then the second one there was only like 700 or 800. But I think in the long run that video, it's going to be, people are going to watch it for a long time to come. And I think it did good for Potholer, to be honest with you. It brought him back into the fold of, I mean, everybody knows who he is and maybe watches his videos, but he's been away for a long time. I think this was a good way for him to touch base with stuff, you know, with people.
It's funny. He's gonna. I mean, like in total, it's gonna be how many hours? Did anybody keep track of what the time was? Because now it's in 3 parts and there's multiple hours, and his fans are gonna be the type to actually stick it through and watch all the whole thing. But I mean, just the level of excitement around it. I mean, who else has 950 plus viewers on a countdown timer?
Yeah,
right? Did you guys see that happen?
Yeah, no, that's
where it
insane.
literally went the
Yeah.
countdown timer, and then all of a sudden, like, oh, you got this many viewers. Well, the fuck, you're not even broadcasting. You're broadcasting a countdown timer.
Yeah, I don't
like,
ever.
How awesome is it to be Potholer? You can pull that off.
I would shit to have those kind of numbers. I mean, I had 300. That wasn't a countdown timer, but I mean, my peak was 350. But if I had 350 people waiting, I'd be like, that's awesome. But
and you actually hit, there were people talking at that time.
Yeah, for the entire stream.
I've had triple digits waiting, but I've never had 350 waiting, just live though. Most people watch my shit after the fact because of different time zones, right? Because this is late, later than normal. But usually when I'm doing something in the mid-afternoon, you know, the people in Australia they're all, you know, asleep, so I lose that whole audience. But if I do something around 5 p.m., the people in Europe, they're already done for the night. So it's just Canadians. That's it. Canadians, and, you know.
Hey Steve, I got an idea for a debate. The morals of porn.
Okay. You know what? There would be probably somebody that would be willing to discuss it. Sure.
Mandates.
As long as you have no PowerPoint presentation.
You know. For a second. Nah, I would have put porn up, but it would involve porn.
Yeah, I'm sure you're kidding. But
no, I'm not. Well,
you're not.
I'm not kidding.
Well, there is. I mean, there's actually an increasing number of documentaries. I mean, well, I think it's interesting about the sort of role of pornography in society and whatnot. Is that? Oh, I do think the role of pornography in society is changing. But even just within industry, I think it's always had the reputation as being a very sort of an abusive culture and very what's what I'm looking for. You take advantage of somebody.
Misogynistic
Submissive.
or
no, just like people are sort of trapped in circumstances.
Oh no! That's not what
predatory.
Porn is now.
No,
I mean, maybe in the 70s,
like sexual predatory type
I
thing, where they just kind of like
considerably.
Yeah.
If you, the porn house, the porn producers are like pimps, basically.
Yeah,
that was like more in the 70s and 80s,
that's
wasn't it?
nowhere what it is like now. Like maybe back in like the 60s when it was real shady and shit.
Yeah.
But nowadays, you know, you're getting a Craigslist ad, and next thing you know, you're flying to Florida to do porn.
Yeah, then you spend 90% what you make on makeup and hair. So.
Yeah.
I mean, I still think. I mean, now the modern, and agree or disagree, but I think the modern sort of implementation of pornography in a modern society, I think, is actually more harmful than it used to be. But on the people who produce it and participate in it, I think it's actually less harmful than it used to be.
Yeah, I think the word Rim had pointed out. I think the word you're looking for is exploitative.
What's that?
I think the word Rim had actually pointed in the live chat. I think the word you were looking for is exploitative, where they exploit people.
Exploit, yeah. Exploiting. That's the word I'm looking for. Yeah, thank you. Where's your live
Thank you,
chat?
Rim. Go ahead, look big. And then
YouTube.
Let's kind of move off this topic. I really don't want to talk about porn right now, but go ahead.
Okay, but this is why we need to have a debate dedicated to it.
I don't know what I don't take a side on it. But if you want to like debate a Christian who's anti-porn and I don't give a shit. Go for it.
Yeah, like that. That's where I'm going to shine.
I have no interest in the topic whatsoever. But these topics don't have to be for pleasing me. Because
where'd you find this? And you know what? Is that Ruhif still around? I want to have a debate with Ruhif about whether or not people still use the word hoon.
Ruhif's still around.
What the hell?
Hoon.
Is that something to do with a deer or something?
Hoon like in...
Hoon.
I'm supposed to get Jerry Bergman in here in the next couple days. You want to pain in the ass that's been? And Ruhif.
Is that Ruhif you're talking about? Yeah,
Ruhif is supposed to join Jerry Bergman, yeah.
Okay, well, screw that. I get him talking about this Hoon thing because he put up a bunch of analyses he'd done, and so just really informative stuff. And I put up this is on Google Plus. I put up a reply. I said, "You're a total Hoon with this data," and he's like, "Where the fuck are you writing that from? The 1980s? Nobody says that anymore."
Try the 1880s.
What is Hoon? I don't understand.
You're gonna debate anything on anybody, won't you, there, Hogtie?
Okay, I've been watching. You know how you get clicked on the you're watching a YouTube video that's kind of interesting, and then you see related videos, and then all of a sudden now you're learning how to pick locks. Like for a while there, I was just watching hundreds of videos on how to pick locks.
Oh,
right?
I
learned
that in the Navy,
it's
dude.
called Highway Patrol Australia or something like that. It's just a collection of people. Like I watched the sovereign citizen videos, and then there's one that's like sovereign citizen in Australia. And then it led me to another one and another one. And then now I'm just all of a sudden watching all these people getting pulled over by the police in Australia. And the shit is hilarious. Like those cops are so nice to people. And nobody has a driver's license in that whole country.
By the way, it seems to be the live chat is really interested in this topic, Look a Pig. So maybe you should make this happen. So they seem to be really interested in the topic of the morality of porn. Again, I just don't
exactly.
care.
You know, it's this is where I shine.
Can I?
I see the live chat talking about the word Hoon.
No, they were talking about porn.
My side. He says they still have the word Hoon.
Can I put a shout out? About picking locks. Can I put a shout out to Shadow real quick? Because this is actual Shadow's. Technically, it's his room, so I have to like pay homage to him for allowing me to use it. So, Shadow, welcome.
Oh, he's there.
How are you feeling, man? Are you feeling good with you? How's life?
Know why you're agnostic about porn, Steve.
I'm not agnostic about porn. I'm agnostic about the morality of porn. Don't pull a G-man on me.
Okay. I'm just asking where you at, man.
Okay, just clarify. I actually, before I get to Shadow, I actually had somebody message me tonight, and they're like, "Hey, Steve, can you give me your actual position rather than G-man's bullshit?" And within literally like I don't know 30 seconds, he's like, "Oh, that makes perfect sense." No shit, you know. So, anyways, Shadow, how you feeling, man?
This position should be fairly obvious. You're trying to say, okay, fine, people can claim that things like an avocado is a god. It's kind of a meaningless usage of the term, but if they want to do that, well, an avocado exists, but does that matter?
Right. Yeah.
Avocados are only gods in California.
But here's the thing: if you think an avocado is a god, regardless of what I think, it doesn't matter. But just for argument, if I think that the avocado even exists, I am somehow, according to G-Man, a theist. I do not understand how that works. And what's funny is there's not been a single person, not one, that has said I agree with G-Man on this. Because there's been nobody that has found me to say anything of the sort that G-Man's been saying. What's that? We're not talking about Shanny for Price, by the way, or one of them idiots, but yeah. What, Look a Pig?
Okay, never mind.
You know, by the way, we got somebody new in here, Barney. He's probably going, "What the fuck are these people talking about?" Because I don't know if he knows the history of all this shit. So Barney, just stick with it, dude. It's not all bad. It gets better.
A little bit, and I was just about to comment on in jokes, but I've been looking for points to insert and try to jump into the conversations, and you guys are playing so well off of each other that there are no holes anywhere.
You'll get used to it. You'll get used to it. You just have to jump in where you can.
The conversation a little bit and roll it back half a topic ago and back to topic of Potholer not liking the
pornography.
Pornography? No, people.
The hashtag cower with Crowder.
Yeah.
Hey Barney, I have a question. What exactly is that accent?
Croatian.
Okay, are you the same Croatian guy we just talked to an hour ago?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, different account name. Okay,
he follows us.
Meet you. Okay, yeah, come on.
We get stalkers every so often. Don't.
Profile shows my real name.
Okay.
So are you in Croatia?
I am in Croatia. I'm in Zagreb, in my office, doing a night shift.
Hogtie, do you remember? Cool. You know who Evidence is, Hogtie? Correct? Evidence for you. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Doesn't he sound exactly like? Come on, back me here.
No.
Not exactly, but.
I went and listened, and it's not exactly, but I can actually hear it.
Okay, good. Thank you. I'm not going to.
All right, but sorry, you're saying about Potholer.
Yeah. So it ties into my jump in on Jade a little bit ago, and somewhat to what I was asking. Potholer. So if the community goes all berserk, and I do feel the need to go berserk and kind of destroy Crowder for being a jerk and provocative and talking shit and then not showing up, but isn't that kind of defeating the purpose of a debate? Isn't a proper answer, and if we just kind of dismiss people and shut them down and automatically label them and not engage them on their terms and their turf, like,
no.
Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yes. No, the purpose of the debate is not to convince the other person, but to make your position.
Not the other person.
Okay, sorry. Go ahead then. Clarify. I misunderstood.
The listeners.
Yes. Okay. Then I'll go yes. Yeah. So then yeah, you would want to do all those things that are some combination of strategic and rational to convince people who appreciate strategy and rational thinking that your position is more correct. So, granting that, what was your point?
So
you're saying that you do want to go off all half-cocked on Twitter?
I have an urge to go off the rail and kind of talk shit about Crowder and say, yeah, you're a chicken coward that didn't show up and your arguments are false. But putting yourself in that position and going with the crowd mentality, you invalidate yourself, I invalidate myself. Completely in the eyes of his audience. Like, all they can see or hear must be, these people are talking shit and looking down on us. Why would I even consider their point of view from their perspective?
It does tend to be divisive when people start to go to the personal attacks, like calling somebody a coward, because his name kind of sounds like coward, and because he didn't show up for a debate. It tends to personalize the topic, and it tends to increase division and make people feel more like, oh, you're in your camp and I'm in my camp, and it takes away the focus from the actual issues under discussion.
Exactly.
And I think that Potholer has to sort of come to peace with two things. One is he's got to make his own choices on how much he wants to contribute to that sort of an event on the internet, and second, he has to accept that it's going to happen anyway, because it's the fucking internet.
Yeah.
So that's the
truth. I mean, that's the sad truth. But isn't it the way it is?
It is. But given how predominant that is in the current debate culture or skeptic culture or generally politics position culture that we have right now, what's the role of the debater? What's the responsibility of the debater to kind of educate his own audience and bring them down and persuade them to be first and foremost polite and go for the arguments and destroy them, by like use the Rappaport rules of engagement instead of just going, you're an idiot.
You can't. Plain and simple. It's the internet.
Yeah, I was about to
ask. No
like,
control over your audience.
I was like, define the responsibility of the debater. That kind of threw me in a loop there.
Well, we had kind of known that he wasn't going to show, right? I mean, let's be honest here. Did anybody that was in the hangout earlier, the pre-show kind of thing, did we not all kind of realize it wasn't going to show?
Even without looking, I can imagine what the argument of his listeners is going to be and what his argument is going to be. Like, when he approached Potholer, and if you've seen the Potholer video where he posts the emails, there is a clear miscommunication there on both sides, where Crowder is proposing and presenting one format and is inviting Potholer to come onto his show as a guest and debate him, and Potholer is saying, no, we're doing this in an independent venue with an arbiter that with a moderator that I will select, and like at no point did they agree that to each other's roles. And Crowder kind of has a semi-valid point of going, no, it didn't happen because Potholer never actually agreed to come on the show. I'm not saying I agree with that. I'm saying that he has a talking point there.
So
But
you're
you
saying
think that that's by
actually
design
gonna-
is a question.
Yeah.
Yeah, of course it's by design. It's kind of and that's kind of where the catcalling in the background comes in too. It's like the audience that did go and on the Twitter and so forth and and use the hashtag and call Crowder out after the fact. It's like, hey, this is to get the attention of people who might, you know, look at Crowder's feed and say, hey, what actually happened? They set up this debate. You said you weren't coming in. And they'll actually look at it and they'll make their own judgment. And it may be, you know, the concept of having a debate will be looked at, and they'll look at what a debate actually is, because Crowder was actually looking at trying to get a debate without a moderator, which kind of would let him. I could see Crowder's personality just running roughshod over Potholers.
Yeah, no, they need a mod. They definitely need a moderator, no question about it. And had it been actually happen, I mean, obviously DPR would have been a little bit more sober at the time. But I mean, hey, I rum and coke night. I go out of my way to get drunk and fuck with flat earthers. That's what we do on rum and coke night. So there's time and place for it. I don't know if I'd be drinking like when I'm having a moderation with, like, you know, Ken Hovind debates or Case, you know, King Crocoduck or anybody. Anytime I actually do a real debate that I'm moderating, I don't think I'm gonna be drinking through it. God knows I want to. The last debate the fucking King Crocoduck had with Ken Hovind, I wanted to get sloshed. I mean, it was just, it hurt so bad.
Oh, that was
good.
That was good.
You know, they need a moderator. They've got to have a moderator for those kind of discussions.
They do. They absolutely need a moderator between those two. The personality, especially after seeing Potholer on a live stream, he was so nervous about being on live. Well,
do you know? Let me show you what happens when you don't have a moderator. Do you guys remember not too long ago on Helena Handbasket's channel, where they had what's his name? The agent. He went against Jack Ingstrike. Oh, come on, what's his name? Come on, the something agent.
Jeff.
I don't know his first name. The academic agent.
Oh.
And
never heard of him.
He has a channel and he does a lot of political stuff, and he teaches politics and economics or something. But we all know Jack Ingstrike. We all know he's very intelligent. We all know he's great at philosophy, and we all know he's a Marxist. But at the same time, he's very dominating, and he just ran the fuck over the agent. And it was shitty to watch, because I wanted to have more of a dialogue between the two, and he wouldn't let him get a word in edgewise, and Helena wouldn't intervene. And I don't know why. She didn't moderate. She was thinking that maybe she would just let him go, free for all. And I was like, no. You cannot do that when you have one person who's so dominant. You've got to make sure the other person gets some airtime.
Like you just did for me.
Yeah.
Yay.
Yeah. And by the way, there's a couple of other people in here too. I could put some. We have some new people in here as well, and I always like new people that drop by to give them some things. James, you were over there as well, right, James? Are you there?
James
not our
dead.
James, but the new one. No,
I killed him.
You killed him? Yeah, it happens.
Yeah, I blew his brains out.
Steve, you're not new, but you decided to drop in. What's up with you, Steven?
It's only you and me now, Steve.
What is it? What is this? You killed everybody? It's just me and you? And
yes, I did.
James Delgatti, you're in here actually.
It's
James,
time for you to get on your knees.
Oh, you wish.
Are you referring to me?
No, the other one. Oh well, he's having laptop issues, I think. So, anyways, how about we'll go to Stuart.
What's up?
What's up? Did you watch it, my friend?
Did I watch the Jack and
no, the
Academic
Potholer?
Agent?
Nah, I don't give a fuck about the Jack one. No, the Potholer thing.
No, I haven't caught up on that yet.
Okay. Oh, by the way, you feel free to ban Kevin in the live chat. He just trolls. That's all he ever does in everybody's hangouts. I don't care. You can ban him right off the spot. Yeah, seriously.
Hey, I troll, but I'm not
You're
that
no
big of a
different level,
troll.
different level trolling. He actually says
Yeah.
things are completely inappropriate, and instead, if you see things, my moderators know that they're not supposed to ban. However, there are certain things that of certain topics that are so degenerate that if you see them, if you know somebody accuses somebody of pedophilia or any crap like that, just get rid of them right off the bat. That's it. You're done. There's no discussion. So. I have no tolerance for certain things, racial things, Naziist things, anything like that. There is no, oh, I'll give a timeout. It's just you're gone.
Oh, so. What about selective Genesis? I would say.
What?
Never mind. You don't. I can't think of the words. Okay, they're big words. I'm stupid.
Speak slowly.
And it's like 1 a.m. Selective
words. It's 7 a.m. here. I just went through a 5-hour
11 p.m.
Well, anyways, just the people, like I said, my moderators know their limits, and but I also give them empowerment. That if somebody's just coming in to the live chat just spewing racial things or Nazi crap, they just don't need to be here.
Is it because you're a Jew?
No, it's because I'm a normal human being that thinks they're all fucking assholes. Okay. If you're a racist, bigoted, homophobic, any of that crap, I just think is ridiculous. So,
well, I would say I'm a bigot, but not homophobic.
Yeah, I just have no patience for any of them.
I have some gay friends.
You got a token gay friend?
But bigotry, that's me.
Well, I mean, the reality is everybody has some form of bigotry. I mean, in some people can say, well, you're bigoted against flat earthers. Okay, fine, whatever. Suck it. I don't care. You're a flat earther. You're an idiot. Call it a bigot. Whatever.
I don't know. I think that might be a rational hatred.
Yeah, no, I agree. But I mean, it's all how you want to utilize the word, right? But I don't use the word that way. If you want to call it that way, that's fine.
But definitionally, bigotry is an irrational hatred.
No, that's not.
If it's irrational hatred,
The official parlance definition for bigotry is just someone who thinks they can't be wrong about something. That's the official.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That can't be wrong, right? Because there are some people we know that they cannot be wrong. Obviously, you get a young Earth creationist like Edgar. Fucking A. He can't be wrong, even though he's wrong on everything from start to finish. He's wrong, and yet he says he can't be wrong.
Yeah, if anything, that term would make a bigot. A flat earther would literally be the bigot in that situation, wouldn't it?
I would guess so, huh?
Yes, it would. Basically, if if you know everything you need to know about a person from a single fact, you're bigoted against them.
Right? There you go. Somebody in the live chat. I don't like typing in the live chat because my computer gets slow. But actually, Ganesh says, Steve, quick question. Can anybody request to join the Hangouts, or is it curated to the group? Anybody can get in. The link to join this type of Hangout, because it's a very moderated Hangout, and I'm OBS streaming, you're allowed to just click the link and come on in. I have to approve you, but you just have to come on in. What was the last thing that somebody said? Drew, what?
Actually, if I can jump in for just 1 second and dovetail on that. This is technically a corporate hangout, which means when somebody tries to join, it does not show the active participants. There is no external chat that people can go into to snipe the hangout or anything fun like that. Fun.
Now you just told them how to do it, but thank you. But I guess by now everybody knows, right? Big surprise.
Well, with this format, it can't be done.
Right.
So that's why we're using it. But you do have.
But there's a will, there's a way. Steve Hammy mods.
But I got to tell you, when I do
coming in.
Wait 1 second.
And the only people with mods is the moderator, and if I'm here myself.
When somebody comes in, they don't have an icon. I get really nervous, though.
Yeah, same.
Well, yeah, but that.
Hey, let me ask a question.
All right, but well, you know what? Gosh darn it! Hang on a sec.
I have a question.
So, because I don't know who this person
65
is.
65 followers, and I see nothing on his page. Is your comment?
Yeah, no, I got it.
Hey,
you ready for my question?
Let's find it.
You ready? Do I sound like I'm in a, or do I sound like I have a headset on?
You sound like you're in a bathroom.
Like
you've obviously in a room or in a small enclosure.
Yeah, you're in a bathtub right now.
Shower.
You taking a shit?
Yeah.
Can you guys hear me clearly?
Yes. Yes.
Yep.
Thank you.
Ganesh, welcome.
I just got. Well, thank you, man. Thank you.
Is that a Shatari? A Shatar? Your icon.
You mean my logo? No, that's Night Elf, Warcraft 3.
Oh, it looks like the Shatari from World of Warcraft. Is
That's I can see where.
yeah, okay.
It's the Night Elf logo in Warcraft.
Yeah, well, because the Night Elf, but the Night Elves worship the Shatar. Well,
No, they don't.
They don't worship him, but that's that. Yeah, well, no, it's not the not the Night Elves, the other guys, the freaking.
Oh, nerd. I miss it.
The ones with the cleft, the hoofs.
Yeah, I know who you're talking about. The Alliance. Crap. I'm Horde through and through, so.
Oh, I'm
I don't
Alliance, so
understand. I mean,
screw you. It's okay. No, whatever. Yeah. The Draenei.
I could definitely see Steve playing World of
Oh,
Warcraft.
I played for like 10 years, dude. Seriously. 10 years. I got a mage that's kicked ass, man. I was one of the best PvPers on my server for mage. Yeah.
You guys do know about the when World of Warcraft first started, in the early mid 2000s, whenever it was, there were a lot of cougar hookups. Like there was nothing but older women and young guys playing, and like there was massive cougar hookups.
More power to you, man. Have you been to Goldshire on Moonguard?
Fuck a Kruger.
Honestly, it's a lot worse than that. There were actually a number of games, not just WoW, but quite a few of them where it wasn't simply the cougars going on there, but you also had a bunch of guys that were going on there, basically seeking out married women to see if they could get the women to the point that they're willing to leave their husband with no plan of ever actually hooking up with them.
Nice. Yeah,
I don't get
going on there.
That would be a good troll right there.
Oh, it was some fucked up shit, man.
I've only
My
really.
stupid ex-wife fell for that shit.
I've known a couple people I met through WoW. I've kind of messed around. Well, I made out with one of them, but the other one that I really liked, she unfortunately passed away. But I don't really go out of my way to meet people on like World of Warcraft because they're just. I mean, I've known some of them for many years, but I would never go out of my way to meet them like I would on the G+. Like I would be happily able to meet half the people that I deal with on G+, but. Not on work.
Come on, man. Me, Steve. That's the true question.
Look, Pig, I'd be scared to meet you. I would bring backup.
Come on, Steve.
I would take at least Kaiser Cube with me or something. Got me back.
No, dude, you know those Warcraft players. They're old. They've got huge bellies. They're balding. They have beards, and that's the women.
Yeah, sexy, man.
Sorry.
Yeah, you make that sound like it's a problem. Hey, I got a lull in here real quick.
Back up to see me.
Look, there is nothing about that 9 Coronas cannot fix.
Well, I got a lull. I have a lot of patrons that are in the live chat and in here. I want to thank you all for being patrons to my channel. If anybody else wants to Patreon, my Patreon's not that bad right now. But if somebody wants to like kick in $1 or $2 or $5, that's still great. I mean, like I said, I appreciate any amount. I'm not looking for large benefactors or anything like that. I've been very fortunate for the people that have been supporting my channel. But if you feel like you want to support the channel, because we are adding a lot of stuff, we are getting new stuff in all the time. We've got the Great to Make community page and the wiki, which we're making a new wiki, by the way. It's in progress, and the links for that are also in the video description. But if you want to get Patreon,
can I have dibs on the page to do?
You get dibs on what?
Actually, who I want to make for the wiki.
You can go to the wiki on fandom now, and you can actually create somebody's page. It's open. Oh yeah, I have the super chats too. The super chats, by the way, if you want to do the super chat to make it I have a rule that if you do the super chat, I read the comment on air. Only do it for like $2, $5, maybe 10 at the very most. There's no reason to do a super chat for higher than that because they take out 30%. So I just it's not worth it to you or to me. I think super chat is shitty the way they implemented it. Instead of having $10 super chat, I'd rather have just $5 in PayPal. Right? Even though I make less, I don't have to wait 90 days. And but yeah, Lamette asked me if my Amazon wish is still up. Actually, I am going to put up a wish list again. Mine was completely fulfilled several months ago. Lamed was partly, obviously responsible for that. He bought me the chair and some other stuff, and it's been really the best thing for my ass ever has been this chair, let me tell you. But Some people have wanted me to get some stuff like a little pad that you write on for when we do these math hangouts, and they run about like $20-something. So I think I found something like that. So I am going to put up my wish list back of a little minor stuff, like, you know, trivial stuff that actually will help this kind of stuff. I bought my own camera and I bought my own headphones from my Patreon fund, so I didn't want to put that on the wish list because I wanted to at least get myself something from the Patreon, because that's what the Patreon is supposed to be for, rather than you know, anything else. So I appreciate all the support, but I will put that up, Lamed, in the next couple of days. You know, Lamed cares about my ass. Thank you, kind sir. I care about my ass as well. My ass is very important to me. But if you want to become a patron, you do get on the Great Debate community page, there's a special page for anybody who's ever donated anything, whether it be $1. You get your name on that. I try to have included all the people in the super chats, but it only goes so far back. So hopefully I've got everybody. But if you're a Patreon, you get in the Patreon section, and I do point it out to people because I am very appreciative of it. Trust me, because this is my full-time thing. Literally, building up the Great Debate community has been my full-time thing, and it's to affect everybody that is in the Great Debate community and with their channels to get them all uplifted. So it's a group event thing. So that was my spiel. Thank you very much. Whatever.
Speaking of computer
had money.
You're not going to believe this, but in the last 2 weeks, I've not bought and sold one, but 2 computer chairs in which I found in dumpsters. Like perfectly good computer chairs.
Really?
Put it on the dumpsters, took it out, put it on Craigslist, and resold it.
This motherfucking chair that Lamed got, it is so goddamn comfortable. I've never had a chair like this ever. Do you guys remember the first chair that I had when I started years ago? Do you remember what I was using? A few of you guys might remember. Does anybody not remember? I know Drag does, and maybe
link me your chair. I need a new one.
I was literally using a Windstar car seat on a cardboard box.
No! Wow!
That is how ghetto I was. And if you look at my old videos, the computer I had was this piece of shit desktop. This thing must not have been more than 2 inches high. Old Dell. Remember those old piece of shit Dells that they tried to sell to schools? They were complete crap. That's what I was trying to get online with. That's what I was trying to do videos. It was just horrific. What's that?
Wow.
I'd love to have one of those. I don't even have a case for my computer.
It's
like mine's just a motherboard that sits on a piece of plastic.
That's not bad, dude. I love getting online like that.
Especially with the wood blocks. I just have a block of wood, and with that's a really cool design.
One of my first computers when I was on BBS's with a fucking motherboard. It was like 8088 or something, and had all the wires coming out of it. Just haphazardly go to the. It was great. Oh, that thing had like I don't know. What did it have? 32 megs of RAM or some shit. It was just whatever.
I remember when 8 megs of RAM was $200.
Fuck yeah, I know.
Yeah, I remember when 8 megs of RAM was a lot.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I remember those days. But I remember BBS's where you would call up and you'd take your turn on Lord of the Red or Legend of the Red Dragon, and you go to the Wares section and go, oh, this is cool, man. I got some hack software. Yeah.
Yeah, Steve and I remember when a computer couldn't actually handle a meg.
I remember back in the day, I was like, what? You got a meg? Who's the hell going to ever use that? Oh, you got a 20 megabyte hard drive? Who the fuck's ever going to need 20 megabytes of hard drive space? There's a big Winchester drive the size of a Volkswagen, you know?
Yeah, 640K of RAM? What?
Yeah, that's all you ever need, right? That's conventional memory. You never need extended.
Yeah, 640K standard.
640K conventional, and then when you hit extended and expanded memory, you're like, oh my god, I'm working with magic here.
Yeah, but you didn't need that until Doom came out and Castle Wolfenstein and all those.
Right. I know, that's exactly true. You're right.
You need high map to run that stuff.
Hey, Steve.
Oh, let's not get. Yeah, let's not get into the
Steve, you play my game?
Who's this?
Oh, we got a trap.
That's my.
It's
my
a trap.
friend Joseph.
Yeah, that's your friend Joseph, right? Why is it when Richard comes over, he always brings somebody with him?
My first was a. He gives Wolfman erections.
Wait, is this
Before that was the VIC 20. It had 8K, but only 5K. Only 5K was user RAM.
Right. The other 3K was ROM.
And then remember that it was the VIC 20, the VIC, the Commodore 64,
What computer had the first 8086 processor?
Probably one of the IBM XTs. Joseph, you sounds like you're spanking the meat there.
Joseph, quit it, man. Quit sucking on a dick.
Where's that?
Like, you're okay.
Where's that coming from?
Yeah, that was Joseph.
Where's that coming from now?
What?
Well, I would. Oh my gosh! Yeah, well, that was going to be my next point. Was the
there's a TRS-80. There's a ZX-81. Yeah, it was a Z-81. I remember the ZX-81, but I remember the Z-81 that had the flat keyboard. When you put it together yourself as a kit. It had a 4-bit 4-lag.
Why is there an echo now? Is that me?
Yeah.
Can you guys hear that there's an echo? Is that my own?
You have the video up.
You're hearing
things.
Hogtie, you're hearing things?
No, you are. Check to see if your YouTube video is paused.
No.
Check your YouTube video, Hogtie.
No, my YouTube is muted.
Hogtie's losing his shit.
Yeah. I know he's
hallucinating. Hey, now that I got Richard in here, by the way, Richard. First of all, I didn't watch all of it. I watched part of it, but for my God damn it, Richard.
Hang on one second.
Okay. Yeah. I don't want to deal with this. Okay.
Okay. How many times did you hear me ask about the echo?
Well, he was muted.
Watch this. Pomegranate. I'm going to say the word pomegranate. No, hold on. I'm going to say the word pomegranate, and I'm not going to say it again for the rest of this hangout.
Okay. He was muted, so it couldn't have been
pomegranate.
Now the muted guy unmuted.
Pomegranate. Oh wait. Okay. So anyways, Rich, there was a lot of compliments that you had on your hangout that you had.
Oh my God in heaven!
What the fuck?
Oh, for fuck's sake!
It's not us.
You know what I was doing?
I don't know.
Check your YouTube channel.
No. It's dumber than that. Okay, I got it fixed. I'm going to admit this. I know I'm disrupting the conversation, but I'm going to admit. So I'm wearing the earbuds, right? But I stepped away for a moment, so I put on my Bluetooth headset and I was listening to the Hangout through the phone. And you know how you can sometimes hear both because you've got the same thing going on your computer? I was not even listening to the Hangout at all. I was only listening to the live feed on my phone.
Yeah, you're tripping.
That's how dumb I am.
Yeah. So anyways, back to what I was saying.
It was the right earbuds. I had the wrong fucking earbuds in.
Oh, by the way, something in the live chat. I have used punch tape before on a microprocessor in a language called Focal. They were 3K punch tapes. So yes, I remember punch tapes. That's how far back I go. But anyways, yeah, it's serious. It was a little spool. It was like 3K. And yeah, that's how you stored
tapes. I remember the punch cards.
Punch tape. No, I had punch cards too. That was Fortran. But I had punch tape.
Yeah,
and by the way,
fuck
Richard. I was going to give him a compliment, but you know what? He could piss off. So you had mentioned earlier, Hogtie, when we were talking to DPR. Remember we were talking about computer programming? I actually had. I used to program a lot back in the day, and one of the programs I wrote as a store manager for Radio Shack, I needed a database that didn't exist at the time, just to track what's called Radio Shack Unlimited, which was special orders, right? Richard, stop, please. Richard, stop. So
we got a troll.
He's not a troll. He's just fucking around. I've asked him not to do that. But anyways, I wrote it in Visual Basic, and it was based upon some other program that I worked or had taken the code for, and I kind of ported it over to Visual Basic in a database format. And from what I understood, after I left, they still used that program for several years to track the Radio Shack. I couldn't do that nowadays, though. That's what sucks. I was able to program back then. Now I don't fucking remember shit how to program Visual Basic. So
it is frustrating. I know. So yeah, people get the gist of it. DPR was making the same observation, and you know, you're saying as I say. I mean, I really used to be multilingual. Just so many, you know, and you could just really envision a task. And now when I think like there's a program I have to write, I don't even know where to start. Like I guess I should get a compiler and then know what language it's going to be in. Well, I don't know any languages. And in fact, all the programming I do now is in spreadsheets, and it is, you know, if you look definition of programming, they call it very high level, I can't remember whatever it is, but it's a very limiting environment because you've got this space in front of you. And I mean, spreadsheets are a lot more elaborate than people realize. Like Excel allows, I use the indirect function a lot, which shows even people here are like, oh, I'm good at Excel too. No, do you use indirect? No, you don't. But like you can use it the way that you use handles in Pascal. And, you know, so like when I have something, I'll say, well, I guess I'll make a spreadsheet. And then I think, oh my God, I could program the hell out of this in like BASIC or Fortran or Pascal, you know, but I just,
yeah,
you know,
I've worked.
What should I learn? Should I learn Java or like what do people
I don't
learn?
know. I don't. Again, I'm old school. I don't know any of the newer stuff. But I got to tell you, when I was programming, right, I was the kind of programmer that would not eat until I resolved a fucking subroutine. Right? I would be like, I want this fucking thing to work, and I would do it incrementally, right? You would work it in stages, right? For example, like the database I wrote for RSU was based on a database program I actually wrote for college when I took programming in college. Yeah, I took a lot of courses in college you don't know about. One of them was actually programming, and all I was supposed to do for the course was produce a very, very simple database. Well, this was years ago, so don't make fun of me, but I made a complex database where I had like a Rolodex card. You know what a Rolodex card looks like? It's got the 2 notches. I made that in you know, it's like a green Hercules monitor. So I made these in lines in ASCII, and as you would switch through the files, right, it would change the card out, and so it would format it on a card. You have the name, the line, and it had all that. It was all formatted, which I wasn't required to do, but because all the whole project was just to make a database. It was just sequential database. But yeah, I wouldn't even know where to begin to do something like that now. And if I did get back into it, I'd be afraid you would never see me again. Because again, once I get locked into a project like that, I don't fucking stop until I figure that shit out, and it bugs the crap out of me.
It's very satisfying though, isn't it? And I really liked following good programming rules too. Like not just sit down and write a whole bunch of code, but to actually break it down into pieces. And I always wrote subroutines very
meticulously,
very generalized.
Now he's talking about top design and stuff like that.
Well, when you wrote your
what's that? Yeah, because you might want to use it in another program later. And you think, okay, what are the things that you want it to do?
You wrote them as standalones.
To draw a 10x10 graph. Okay, well maybe in the future you're going to want it to do something else. Actually, here's one thing that I really encourage: never use numbers in your program. So that, you know, if like even with spreadsheets, so quite often somebody's throwing together a spreadsheet that has to do a bunch of pricing, and you live in a place like Canada has 5% goods and services tax, right? So he said, well, okay, then I need to make a column for, okay, it adds up these things to come up with these prices, and then in the next column it's got to multiply that by 1.05, or it's got to multiply by 5% to figure out what the GST is, and then it's got to go over. No, don't ever put 0.05 or don't ever put 5%.
Don't hard code it that way.
Put another cell somewhere. You declare it as a variable, and I'm a big fan of like
you do a reference back to another cell.
Yeah, right. Yeah, and then with programming, when you do it as a main program and then subroutines, or you call units or whatever else you do, I'm also a big fan of never letting a subroutine manipulate a global variable. So a subroutine is handed a set of variables, it does what it does, and then it returns some things, but it never plays with things that it hadn't been given. I'm a huge fan of that kind of stuff.
If it needs to pass information back out, you pass it a reference.
Oh, see, I remember those times. You have you have local variables, your global variables. I see, but the reference that got more into C stuff, which I never really got into. Look up here. Are you okay?
You're basically describing functional programming.
Huh? It references a pointer. That's all it is.
It's a reference to point to a specific location or a variable.
Right. A reference refers to a location in memory. That's all it does.
Oh, okay. So,
you stored variables. We're also talking about pointers and handles.
Yeah, he's talking about
especially if you're working with arrays, that's the way to do it. Yeah.
Well, back in my day, we used to call that poke and peek, if that was what you're referring to.
Holy shit, poke and peek.
Yeah, dude, I'm old motherfucking school, man. But that's kind of the principle. But then what you're doing is you're directly taking it out of memory. You're taking it as a memory location. But.
Right, that's how you put a value directly into or out of a memory location.
Right.
But in BASIC. But what we're talking about is like if you wanted to pass an array into a function, you don't pass a array.
Kaiser, are you shaving?
Yeah, he's shaving or something.
Who's shaving?
Yeah, no, I used to like to. As a matter of fact, arrays was one of the coolest things to work with. Matter of fact, the way I did my database programming, I had to do it as a dimensionalized array, and that actually I think helps you learn things like matrix theory, right? If you can understand an array, you can understand matrix theory, I think, in a way. I mean, it does help you a little bit.
Matrix.
Yeah. So, anyways, I don't know how we got the top of computers, but that's okay.
I was going to tell you to look at a picture of my computer I sent you on Twitter, and then I went into that.
Well, this is
so look at the photo.
See,
damn it.
This is supposed to be talking shit Tuesday. People are not supposed to learn stuff.
Hey Steve, I'm gonna have to drop out pretty soon because my internet completely went offline. I'm using data right now, and this is why it's so it's so crappy. But look, it's been great.
Peace, brother.
Have to get out
Thank
of
you,
here.
buddy.
Bye, man.
Yeah. But this is supposed to be talking shit Tuesday. People are not supposed to learn shit on TST. That's the
all right.
the rule,
Let's
right?
talk some shit.
I'm
then.
just kidding.
All right,
No.
Big Junos.
No.
Let's talk some shit.
People are still making fun of Edgar. Oh God. I like it when Edgar comes in and just sits and listens because he's more than welcome to. Perhaps he'll glean something and learn something. But we've already shat on G-Man enough. I mean, I don't know where to go with it. G-Man.
I don't know Von Helton.
I have except that thing that I had with Von Helton. I have no real contact with Von.
Yeah. I actually was able to summon him. It wasn't hard. I don't know why he gave you that much problem.
Well, he didn't really want to have a discussion with the Geek Room, to be honest with you.
Yeah, but I had the Geek Room in and some
well,
of his
after
haters.
the fact, after I've already kind of like whitewashed all that shit.
You paved the road for me.
I paved the road.
You
yeah.
paved the road. Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
I even actually talked to him. It was interesting.
The Red Eye says the eggs. Okay, only 4 people get this joke, or whatever. I don't know. The eggs are now polytheists with agnostic tendencies. Yeah, that's pretty well the nutshell. If you combine G-Man and Edgar together, that's kind of what you get. And an agnostic who isn't, not me. I'm agnostic, but I don't want to be part of that.
So apparently the.
Yeah, what about that,
debate is
General?
on.
Tell me what's going on. Whose channel? Who's moderating? Give me details.
So it's most likely going to be on GDC itself. I think that channel should be dedicated to
That's
that sort of
fine.
thing.
I agree.
And I think Richard's moderating.
All right.
Yeah.
But I do get on that panel for like after show.
Huh?
After your little discussion, I get in that panel. So.
Oh yeah. There's going to be probably a Q&A.
Yeah. Welcome back, P Review.
Which debate?
So,
by the way,
how do I?
So I was dragged into a debate by Richard.
Yeah, see, honestly, General, I don't know why the fuck you would debate Arn or Arn would debate you. I don't think that's gonna be a really interesting debate, to be honest with you. I'll listen to it, but I don't see the productive value of it.
I don't even know what to debate on. Because apparently the title is because I just asked Richard what's the topics, and he says science, the Bible, and God. So I'm like,
okay, but here's
when it comes to science, I'm practically going to agree with
yeah,
Aaron
but General, here's the problem that I see. Scientifically speaking, you and Arn are on the same page. You're a theist, he's an atheist. That's a matter of a fucking opinion. He believes God doesn't exist, you believe God exists. You're never going to have a meeting of the minds on that. I don't like those kinds of debates that much. They just don't do anything.
He may bring up like issues with the creation story, the flood, and the Exodus, and then I guess that's when it gets interesting, because my positions on that, like I perspective on it.
Yeah, but you could present to him all the evidence you want of a flood, local flood, or whatever. He's not going to be interested in that. And by the way, yes, we're on Cloud. Sure, I'll be still here. I'll probably end this about 15, 20 minutes. But yeah, he's not going to care about that. He's not a philosopher guy. He's not interested in that kind of specificity of the Bible. He knows enough to get by. And his arguments as well as anybody else, right? I mean, I don't know what would be the point to debate him on. I don't see it, but maybe that's just me.
Would you say that his mission, so to speak, is to debunk younger creationism, and that's it?
I don't know if that's his mission, but that's a goal of his, and that's one of my goals
in
as
regards
well.
to religious discussions,
I mean, obviously he's an atheist. He doesn't want to see any theism. But I think that if it came down to somebody who's a theist that says, look, I believe obviously that evolution's a fact and the Big Bang and all this stuff. I just happen to believe that God did it all that way. I think Arn and Hogtie knows Arn better than I do, but I just think that I would probably be like, you know what? It is what it is. I'd rather have that than somebody saying that the Earth is 7,000 years old, because that's just pure dumb fuckery, right? That's how I'm looking at it. I could be completely wrong on that. I'm not speaking for Arm. Maybe he might think both are on the same level of dumb fuckery. I don't know. But I don't think so. So I just don't think he does either. But Hog, do you
There
think
are
he
different
does?
levels of wrongness.
There are different levels of wrongness, sure. Yeah. You've got Ronnie wrong, you've got G-Man level wrong, and then you have Mr. Intelligent wrong.
But
Those are different levels.
it's funny because it's like I wake up like I've been trying to reset my body clock lately because I need to get back to my work commitments, in my private life. And then I get this message from Richard going, "Hey, you're in a debate this Friday with Aaron Ra," and I'm like, "What? I didn't even ask for that." And I guess
what time is it going to be?
And I just have to go along with it.
What time is it going to be?
Apparently, it's going to be 9 p.m. on Friday, which will be 9 a.m. for me
9
on Saturday.
p.m. 9 p.m. What? What time zone?
I think Eastern Standard Time.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense because he's in. I think. Wait, is it Eastern?
He said 9 p.m. Eastern Standard.
Okay,
on
so
Friday.
that's going to be 6 o'clock my time.
6 p.m. you mean?
Yeah, and is Arn going to put this on announced it or anything? I really don't want to have much to do with this debate. I'll be there obviously, but I don't know. I just.
But I thought might as well do it on the GDC because
that's cool.
I mean the GDC should be dedicated for debates specifically, and
sure.
Maybe so that's another question, which is what's happening with the Fuzz Rana thing? Is there a debate tomorrow? Or is it a
Okay.
interview?
So let me throw this out there again. First of all, if you are listening to this, whether now or in the future, if you have not gone over to the secondary channel, the one that we're going to be using for like other types of debates, there's still going to be debates on my primary channel, don't get me wrong, but other people's debates on the Great Debate Community, which is a very specific YouTube page that only has about 400 subs, so it's not that big right now, so it needs to get bigger. But if you haven't subscribed to that one yet, go subscribe to that one. Link is in the video description. Tomorrow, Fuzz Runner will be here at 9:30 my time, Pacific, and he'll be having a discussion with Bill Ludlow on human evolutionary model as compared to the reasons to believe modeling, as opposed to standard evolutionary systems. So.
Okay. And then later on, Rhodes is coming.
Yeah, later on, Rhodes is coming about too. What now? I'm sorry, Barney.
Might want to add that to the YouTube description.
Yeah, if I could throw that in there, I don't know. I'll try. I mean, if everybody here in the live chat just went and subbed to the other channel and subbed to the Great Debate Community page, www.greatdebatecommunity.com. It takes like 10 seconds. Just go subscribe to it.
No one have time for that.
Ain't nobody got time for that shit.
You have to click stuff for it.
That actually tells you when these events are happening, and every time I update it, you'll get a notification. So go.
Yeah, but that takes effort.
Well, you know what? If people are that fucking lazy, then I don't care if they miss it.
And be done.
People always
subscribing's already hard enough.
Yeah. Well, the way YouTube has it set up, yeah. YouTube just fucks this shit up all the hell.
I mean, you have to click the big button.
But that doesn't work. It doesn't notify people sometimes. It's bullshit.
I so want to rack people's brains on that because I am pretty sure that everything works. It's just that it doesn't show up on the home page. It shows up on the subscriptions page.
No, I get a lot of.
It shows up on the subscription page, but it doesn't give you a notification in your email. That's what I'm talking about.
You have to set up notifications. And then
it doesn't always work.
Bells.
It doesn't always work.
No, it doesn't.
No, there are three different levels of notifications. Never notify me, sometimes notify me, and always notify me. And
doesn't always work right.
Sometimes notify you, it'll sometimes notify you.
It doesn't matter. If you can put notify me on every little thing and it still does not notify you properly, it is a broken system right now. I guarantee it. Telling you right now, through experience, it's fucking broken.
I have a question for General if he's still here.
Yeah, General, are you there?
General. The center wants to speak to you. So, I have a question. With what you understand about the universe and how everything operates around you, how did you come to the conclusion that there still is a God?
A lot of things that's overlapping between the biblical data and what we understand in the universe, the grand complexity of it.
All right, go forth.
Well, anyways, I think we've about time to bring this to a close here. Yeah. So, does anybody got parting things they want to add? Again, this was supposed to be Talking Shit Tuesday.
Yeah, that's all I have to say.
Yeah, no, I'll leave the room open here. When I leave, it still stays in here, so I don't give a fuck.
Yeah, I was just telling you.
But does anybody want to add
Nobody new
anything?
can join, but the room stays.
Well, you're going to be in here, though.
Yeah, if I hang out for a bit, I might mod. I don't know.
So let's see here. I usually give people the last word, but since this is actually Talking Shit Tuesday, you can all fuck yourselves.